in the statements expressed in that video.
And he says concern about the accuracy of the statements. U.S. officials say only a shipment of a specific type of bomb was held up over concern about civilian casualties in the Gaza city of Rafah. Fox News confirming Secretary of State Blinken will meet with Israeli officials today after high-level meetings at the White House scheduled for today were rescheduled. Meantime, House Speaker Mike Johnson now says Prime Minister Netanyahu's planned address to a joint meeting of Congress is set for July 24th. Just getting word that an Alabama man wanted in connection with multiple killings in Oklahoma is captured in Arkansas. Arkansas State Police say 50-year-old Stacey Lee Drake was found in a wooded area, taken into custody without incident. But a suspect who escaped in Mississippi nearly a week ago is still on the run.
DeSoto County Sheriff Thomas Tuggle says inmate Joshua Zimmerman was able to walk out of the jail last Friday due to some sort of security design flaw, that he hitched a ride from an unsuspecting Good Samaritan from Mississippi to Memphis, Tennessee. Tuttle with a message to Zimmerman.
Turn yourself in, because we're going to find you, and I promise you we're going to put your gluteus maximus in a cell by yourself. That's just how that works here.
Zimmerman's charged with attempted murder and carjacking in Mississippi and murder in Texas, with multiple agencies now on the hunt.
Fox's Jeff Benasso. Tuttle also says that design flaw has been addressed. America is listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Keeping it hot and just right on time. The summer season officially begins at 3:50 this afternoon. Sunshine in control, 96 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 90s this evening, 75 for the low. Friday, sunny, 99. Saturday, partly sunny, 99. Sunday, a couple of scattered morning thunderstorms, otherwise partly sunny, 94. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 500 and get 15% off your first purchase with code 500, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUMEdeodorant.com, code 500 for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUMEdeodorant.com, code 500 to save 15% today.
Scott, I have a new word, floor-nancing.
What are you saying, flooring or financing?
Actually, both, because at Best Buy Flooring, we have the largest selection of carpet tile, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tile, ceramic tile, laminate, and hardwood.
Yes, and free financing for qualified buyers.
3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and O'Fallon, Illinois.
Open 7 days a week, including at South County. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right, nice, soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I don't mean to simplify this, but, you know, Donald Trump's rhetoric even his sort of swagger looks more like 2016 in the campaign you covered so closely, Katie, than he looks in 2020.
So there you have Chuck Todd, and he's saying Trump's swagger is looking a little 2016. I don't really think that that's something that Chuck Todd is happy to have to say. But maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. We got news today that the debates, which are 1 week from today, excited to see all of you who were able to snag tickets for the debate watch party next Thursday at Dave & Buster's. Excited for that event to happen. People talking about the debate and whether it's going to actually occur or not puts us in an interesting situation. We're going to have a packed house full of listeners to watch that debate at Dave & Buster's. RFK Jr. didn't make the cut. He's not going to be there. Our question for you today in our YouTube live chat poll is, would you like to see RFK Jr. at those CNN debates? Because I'm curious how many of you feel as though he would have added to the experience, or how many of you feel as though he would potentially be detracting from that experience. He's not going to make it. They announced today that he is not qualified for the event, but curious to see how y'all feel about it. Annie for our YouTube channel and the live chat to vote. I am incredibly looking forward to this. Joe Biden has retreated to prepare for the event. Isn't it strange that the president can go away for a week to get ready for a debate? Still the president. I mean, yes, he's fully functional. Did he go to Martha's Vineyard, Camp David?
I think he went to Wilmington.
Wilmington?
Mm-hmm.
It's not as though he's not going to be presidenting wherever he goes.
Yeah.
In any less of a capacity than he would be if he were at the White House.
Well, that's a loaded statement, Annie.
I know. Brevity is my friend. Frank Luntz on the issue.
To me, it's not that Donald Trump is winning so big in Iowa. That's not the story. It's that he's making it close in Minnesota. Minnesota is a reliable Democratic state. It votes Democrat in every presidential campaign, and poll after poll, I see Trump within 2 or 3 points in Minnesota. I don't think the media understands exactly what's going on right now. Yes, Trump dropped a few points after being found guilty on 34 felony accounts. But remember this, that would have destroyed any candidate as recently as 10 years ago. And the fact that Donald Trump is still even with, or in some cases leading Joe Biden after being found guilty of 34 felonies? Oh, my God.
So, yeah, they were working really hard to disqualify Donald Trump. Joe Biden's ability to debate wasn't going to much matter because at the end of the day, who would he be debating? Not Donald Trump. He'd be debating a convicted felon. How many of you listening right now know somebody who's been convicted of a felony? I don't know what the percentage is. I know somebody who's been convicted of a felony. It's not like a huge deal. It's a felony. It's not like it was okay. But I mean, if you think about felonies, there's like murdering people, and then there are other things.
Yeah.
This falls into the other things category.
Yeah.
I am the person who I'm thinking of specifically, I'm certain would not want their entire remainder of their life to be defined by that felony. And this person is a parent. This person is somebody who's worked very hard for many, many years. And, they made a mistake. They were held accountable for it. I feel and they have lots of people who love them and support them and didn't endorse necessarily the situation that they were in. Some people could explain the felony and say, well, what happened was really this, but then it turned into that. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably, I think that the idea that being a convicted felon of something that isn't violative in an impactful way towards somebody else, harming somebody else violently, killing somebody, like the big ones, the big scary things. I feel like there are a lot of people in the country who are going to not really love the idea that saying you're a convicted felon makes you unworthy of even like having a name anymore. I think that the idea that is the only thing that defines you is going to be unappealing to a lot of people. Now, is Donald Trump a convicted felon? He is, in fact, a convicted felon. That's just the way it is. Is he going to win on appeal? His lawyers sure think so. We're not going to know until the election is passed. So the idea that he will win on appeal is a non sequitur for the conversation of how it impacts the election. The truth of the matter is that Joe Biden's Department of Justice worked very hard to make sure that they could clear the runway for Donald Trump to get this defining attribute so that would diminish any sort of credibility he might have with certain people, swing voters or people who might be on the fence. Who are you people anyway? You fence sitters. I don't know you. I don't know those people. The only fence sitters, again, the fence sitters aren't, do I vote for Joe Biden or should I vote for Donald Trump? Man, I'm just wringing my hands and I don't know what to do. The fence sitters are the people who are thinking about voting or not voting, or thinking about voting or not voting specifically for the president. Maybe they are going to go vote down ticket, all Democrat, all Republican, but for whatever reason, they can't pull themselves to support Joe Biden or to support Donald Trump, the likely nominee for the party, except for I don't think Joe Biden's going to be it. Let's find out what the future governor of Illinois says, Adam Kinzinger.
Look, his brain is broken. The difference is he does it more energetically. And, and I think it's completely an unfair comparison. But right now, Joe Biden looks a lot more low energy than Donald Trump. And that's Donald Trump's advantage. But these videos, they're blatant lies. And it used to be, Jim, back in the day, it would be kind of the dark corners of the internet that would put out these fake videos. And then responsible people like members of Congress and the Senate or the RNC would say, no, we're not going to do that. They're the ones pushing this now. This whole Joe Biden wandering at Normandy, all you had to do was pan out and see that he was talking. He's doing exactly what I would have done as a military guy, which is go over and talk to them and not the other state leaders. Him at the fundraiser, if you actually zoom in on his face, he's very mobile. He's motioning. He's smiling at people. He's not frozen.
That kind of reaction really does track with where you'd expect Adam Kinzinger to be. Walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. He drinks the Kool-Aid daily, and it's labeled anti-Trump. He hates Donald Trump. Donald Trump, if Adam Kinzinger comes up in conversation with Donald Trump is going to talk about him being a crybaby. That's just, that's a guarantee. Why does he cry so much?
Because he's soft. He's 10-ply.
I don't think he's soft.
Kinzinger?
He's a veteran. No, I don't think he's soft. He's a veteran. I think he's tough as nails. I can't decide if he thinks that it's performative. I don't think he's soft. That I wouldn't say that about him. I think he's a narcissist who is, as most narcissism dictates, a manipulator. It's just weird to me that he would be like, I think I'm going to cry. And then he just does. The debate that is 1 week from now, what most people are saying is there is an active effort, probably on both sides of the aisle. Well, the actions are the same. The outcome is different. To lower the expectations for Joe Biden. If we minimize expectations for the current president of the United States, like even the concept of saying, let's just put the standards way down here in the, I don't know, basement for Joe Biden in this debate, that he'll outperform the expectations because the expectations were so low. Joe Biden, I was watching or listening to Outnumbered on the way into work today, and one of the guests on the Outnumbered panel was saying, like, Joe Biden's going to make a huge mistake here in this debate, and it's going to be very impactful in the race. And Leslie Marshall, who is a Democrat, who I love listening to at Leslie Marshall. I don't agree with her politics pretty much ever, but I think she's a genuine person. I think that she has a unique perspective, and I like to listen to those perspectives. Leslie Marshall's first response was, of course, Joe Biden is going to make a mistake on the debate stage, but everybody who's on a debate stage makes mistakes. We're not talking about getting a fact wrong. Like you said, 65% and it was really 62%. Or you flubbed people keep saying that when Donald Trump or other Republicans talk about the Obama administration instead of the Biden administration, a lot of people think that's a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's very intentional. You can mix up words. You could say something because you're thinking quickly on your feet. I've done it many times on this show where I have developed as a broadcaster the ability to, this is going to be used against me, but I've developed the ability to talk without having to apply all of my thought process to speaking, because if you've ever watched us on the YouTube live stream, you'll see that Brad and I, we look like we're trying to land a plane because we're talking, we're pointing, we're moving our fingers back and forth because we're trying to communicate, but I have to keep talking. If I stop talking, you're going to think I died or something. So sometimes I will, because I'm not thinking enough about what I'm speaking, or I'm maybe a couple steps ahead in my brain from where my mouth is speaking at the same time, I'll invert some words or something. If that happens to Donald Trump or Joe Biden, I think that's forgivable. If you see Joe Biden short circuit at the debate, that's the mistake we're talking about. The Barack Obama escort off the stage at that fundraiser with Jimmy Kimmel last weekend. Here's the thing. I believe, and I'm not really into predictions because it's just the risk of being clearly definitively wrong to me isn't worth the ability to come around the next day and be like, see, I told you so. I don't need to tell you, see, I told you so. I don't need that in my life. So I'm not really a predictive type of person. I like to call the shots as I see it and tell you what I'm thinking. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is what I'm thinking, and this is predictive. So we will quickly know if my cheese is completely off my cracker, so to speak. I think that they're setting Joe Biden up so that he publicly, very much so, has to remove himself from the race. Because I think if the people behind the scenes wring their hands and go, we got to get rid of him, he can't win, but it's not obvious to the American people that the Democrat Party is just doing what they have to do for the good of the country, not for the good of the party, which obviously that would be, for the good of the country, Joe Biden is going to step down, or if he won't step down, for the good of the country, the Democrats come together and work to replace him. I think that the Barack Obama escort off the stage was the beginning of that, publicly. I think it's not the beginning of the thought process. I think it's been in play for a while. And I've been very clear that I don't think Joe Biden is going to be the guy, and I'm praying that I'm wrong on that. There is no way that Barack Obama, the master of production, Joe Biden does not understand cool the way Barack Obama understands cool. Barack Obama understands production. When Barack Obama comes up to Joe Biden and holds him by the forearm, that's what you do to old people who need help. That's what you do to the young people who need help. That's what you do to anyone, children who need help. When Barack Obama goes up and grabs him by the arm and escorts him off the stage with Barack Obama's hand basically on the small of Joe Biden's back, this is what I haven't really heard anybody talking about. People are like, oh, did Barack Obama do this on purpose? I think he did. That's a side note. I think Barack Obama knew exactly what that looked like. I don't think that Barack Obama doesn't think those things through. If Barack Obama thought that the future of democracy was going to rest on Joe Biden winning the election, there's no way in hell that Barack Obama would have done that to Joe Biden. This is what nobody is talking about. Everyone's discussing, what did Barack Obama do? Did he know what he was doing? Of course he did. Nobody's talking about the idea that the second that Joe Biden had his hand held and Barack Obama's hand on his back to guide him out, Joe Biden just did what he was shown to do. Joe Biden didn't, people are like, oh, he was soaking in the moment. He was looking at all these people and he was just taking it in. He's the president of the United States. He can do that for 30 minutes if he wants to. As soon as he was guided away, he just did what he was supposed to do. He didn't point out to the crowd and be like, George Clooney, I see you. Thanks for being here. He didn't interact with anybody on a person-to-person basis. Like you see Barack. I mean, this is like standard issue politics. You point, you wink, you smile, you wave, and then you do it over to the left because you're so popular. Everybody's looking at you and they want to be acknowledged by you. That's not what Joe Biden did. Joe Biden stood in the front of the stage, slowly pivoted to one side or the other, waited for someone to come get him. And when someone came to get him, he did exactly what he was guided to do, which is the definition of the entire Biden presidency. And I think we saw in the truest form on stage that day exactly how this presidency has been guided. I think that the best thing for the Democratic Party on Thursday is for Joe Biden to make an epic fool of himself. And I think if Joe and Jill Biden would have gone along with what they want to do, this wouldn't be the situation. But I don't think that Jill Biden wanted to get out of the presidency. I just don't. There's nothing I've seen from Jill Biden that makes me think that she's a loving wife that cares more about protecting the integrity of her husband, which as a wife, I cannot possibly relate to sitting back and watching my husband deteriorate on the world stage for people to laugh at and poke fun of. And to watch laughably the press secretary be like, oh, they're lying to you with these edited videos. I don't even need the edited videos in the last 2 weeks to formulate this opinion of the fact that the president has deteriorated past the, not the ability to run the country, to run his own self off of a stage in the correct direction. I don't need a video from the last 2 weeks to tell me that. This has been written on the wall for quite some time. The media chose not to report it. If the public display next Thursday of Joe Biden proves to America that he is unfit, then the Democrats can step in and do the right thing for the country. And it doesn't really matter what Joe Biden and what Jill Biden want to have happen next. I think the Bidens have the ability to step out of the race and stay as the president until January or until the next Democrat wins the election, should there be a new Democrat inaugurated in January. You can stay and finish out your term, or we can take you out and Kamala Harris can become the president of the United States. And the first woman, and of course, first woman of color to do that, which would be a feather in the cap of the Democrat Party anyway. I think that the public failure of Joe Biden may benefit the Democrats more than it does the Republicans next Thursday. Be careful how much we lower those expectations from both sides of the aisle, because the impact is going to be seismic. Do you wish that RFK Jr. was at that debate next week? Yes or no? He's not going to be. I'm wondering how many of y'all are disappointed in that. Annie Frey YouTube channel, go vote. Let's talk to Hans von Spakovsky when we come back and ask him. I've asked him before about the 25th Amendment. Maybe bring that conversation up again here. And also curiosity about the idea of replacing a candidate on a ballot state by state by state. And those votes. If the candidate was replaced after voting starts, let's say in Illinois, you've got 40 days of voting. If the first 10 days Joe Biden is the candidate and the last 30 days it's Gavin Newsom, do Joe Biden votes translate to Gavin Newsom? Or are those ballots cast gone for the Democrat Party? We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Cassens and Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram is where I go to buy vehicles. When I need a new car, I want to go to a place that I can trust, with people I can trust. One of the great things about Cassens is they have a very, very small turnover in salespeople there. There are individuals who have been selling at Cassens for decades, and they're very good at it. And the only way you get to be there and that successful for that long is by doing it the right way, because people come back to you. And when friends of those people who have purchased from Cassens, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram say, oh, I need to buy a vehicle, they say, go to Cassens. You will not regret that decision. I certainly didn't. If you were looking for a new vehicle, let's say a 2023 Challenger GT, you can get one right now at Cassens, a lease for 42 months, 0 down, $399 a month, tax, title, and license not included. But that's a great opportunity to get into a sweet ride with Cassens and Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Call them directly. Make sure you mention Annie when you do. You'll be glad you did. 618-800-2712, 618-800-2712. Online at CassensSons.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-353-9057, 800-353-9057, or biglou.com.
Hello, Mike Carter here. I wonder if you knew that after the purchase of the Louisiana Territory in 1804, a formal three-flag ceremony was held in St. Louis to mark the transfer. The Spanish flag lowered and the French tricolor raised. That in turn was lowered the next day and the flag of the young Republic of the United States stood tall. I'm Mike Carter of Carter Law Offices here, and at that moment the people living here went from being subjects to being citizens of a great free nation. Jump ahead 220 years to what we have become, and over 6 million men, women, and children now call Missouri home. Our largest cities are an economic powerhouse, and our small towns and family farms remain the heart of the nation. A friend wrote me one time at Carter Law Offices, "Hey, Mike Carter, why don't Missouri residents show their pride by flying our state flag more often like the folks in Texas?" I was like, that's a really great idea. And I was thinking, maybe anybody who's listening to this, if you want to send me an email at mike@carterlegal.com with your name and address if you're okay doing so, and I'll send you a free state flag, and you can hang it out on your front porch and show everybody you're as proud of Missouri as I am.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Get in your comfort zone with double carrier cool cash rebates up to $4,200 and 0% financing up to 72 months on a new HVAC system. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
June 27th, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, no scripts.
Well, make my day, pal.
Oh, absolutely. You know, he's issuing it. I wonder whether or not he shows up.
Only one place you can hear it. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
Sun coming up over New York City. School bus driver in a traffic jam.
The outrageous charges in New York were a corrupt creation of crooked Joe Biden and his group. And they really weaponized, what they did is they weaponized the Department of Justice. They weaponized all the White House.
We the people of the United States.
More perfect.
In order to form of our perfect union.
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovsky.
Hans, welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Happy Thursday. It's good to have you back.
Well, thanks for having me back.
One of the staples of Donald Trump's campaign is the idea that the Justice Department has been weaponized against him. And, you know, he certainly can make a case for it. Do you believe that all of these people are calling it lawfare, he's calling it lawfare? Do you feel as though there isn't any other explanation about these court cases that have been brought against Donald Trump than politics?
No, I don't think there is any other explanation because, look, it'd be one thing if they were legitimate cases, you know, legitimate claims of the violation of the law. But that's not the case at all, certainly not in the New York case, certainly not in the Georgia case. And in the federal cases, again, remember, there's two federal criminal prosecutions against him, one over questioning the outcome of the election, which is that's basic First Amendment protected activity. I mean, you can claim that an election was wrongly decided. It doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. But look, even in the second case, that's the classified documents case, okay? Look, presidents are the ultimate authority on whether documents are classified or not. So they are the ultimate authority on the storage, retention of those kind of records. And all you got to do is look at that case to see how bizarre it is that the Justice Department filed criminal charges under the Espionage Act. Look, the National Archives admitted quite a while ago that every president that has left office, they have discovered, has taken classified materials with them. And what did they do? Well, you know, they negotiated, they talked to them, they reasonably calmly worked on getting them back, which is exactly what was going on when all of a sudden these criminal charges were filed. And if espionage charges are really valid, well, then why has the Justice Department said, Joe Biden, who also is, not just accused of, we know he took classified documents with him when he left the vice presidency. When he left the Senate, And they say, oh, well, no, him we're not going to prosecute. That's selective prosecution. And that again shows that they are waging lawfare against the president.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it just seems as though when you have the comparison to what we've heard in the Her report saying, yeah, Joe Biden did something wrong here, but he's just not mentally fit to withstand a trial or to be found to be judged by a jury of his peers fairly because of his mental state. It seems as though it frustrates me to see that there are so many different strings you can pull, locating a jury, locating a jurisdiction, a court, a judge, a prosecutor, that can get you the kind of justice that you would prefer.
Right, and that's exactly what's going on here. Look, another great example of this that shows this two-tiered system is the fact that think how much worse it is that Hillary Clinton also had classified documents at her home when she was Secretary of State, and when she was caught doing it, instead of the documents being returned, which is what's happened in the Donald Trump case, what did she and her lawyers do? They destroyed the evidence.
Yeah.
Now, that is blatant evidence of intentional wrongdoing, destroying the evidence, and yet she didn't have a single charge filed against her.
Yep. I guess it's just if the bureaucracy is in your favor, it seems as though you get a specific brand of justice, and that doesn't seem very American. Hans von Spakovsky with us right now. I want to ask you about the President of the United States. In the last week, we have more information in the broader context of Joe Biden not seemingly mentally fit to execute the office of the presidency. Do you feel as though we're in 25th Amendment territory, regardless of what maybe a Democratic Senate or the people in his cabinet may be willing to do? Is this qualify?
Well, look, I'm not a doctor, but I've had members of my family who have suffered from, well, let's just say very frankly, from Alzheimer's. We've all probably seen and known friends, family members who have done that. And the kind of symptoms we are seeing publicly from Joe Biden show a definite, I mean, they just can't deny that there are a diminishing of his apparently mental abilities. And, you know, it's a kind of thing where really, boy, it sure would be nice to have some independent doctors actually examine him rather than the White House physician who's just going to say, well, of course he's fine, because it certainly looks that way. And think about the time we're in. I think how dangerous what's going on is all over the world, and to potentially have a president who's not capable of making those kind of split-second decisions. I can't think of a worse time we've been in since the end of the Cold War.
Hans von Spakovsky with us right now. I mean, there's the 25th Amendment that might be in place. I think the other thing that is a very likely possibility is that he finishes his term, but he doesn't continue on with his campaign. There's a lot that goes into switching out a nominee for the Democrat Party, for the Republican Party, I'm sure. What do you know of the process of saying, maybe Joe Biden says, you know what, I'm not up for this anymore, and I know that, and I want to do what's best for my country, and so I'm stepping down and handing over to the Democratic National Committee the decision to choose another nominee. Well, what goes on after Joe Biden would potentially say something like that?
Well, it would all kind of depend on whether it happens before or after the convention, because it's at the convention that he actually is nominated to be the nominee of the party. If he were to do that beforehand, well, then the delegates at the convention could all simply vote for a different candidate, whether it's Kamala Harris or somebody else, to be the new nominee. If this happens after the convention, as I understand the rules, it would be up to the Democratic National Committee to choose who the new nominee of the party is. But, you know, keep in mind that the way in which states all over this country in the last, 10 to 20 years have started stretching out the time to vote. Remember, before the late 1980s, there was no such thing as early voting.
Mm-hmm.
Now the vast majority of states have it. In some places, people will start voting, 2 months before Election Day. So that doesn't give a lot of time to actually change the ballots that are being printed and being sent out to voters through absentee ballots and everything else. So, boy, if the Democrats are going to do this, they got to do this as soon as possible.
I'm reading from the Washington Times right now, and this is a report that was released. Let me get June 19th. So this is pretty fresh. It says the DNC is planning a nominating process that will ensure that any chance of a Biden or Harris switcheroo will be all but impossible by the time the delegates arrive in Chicago. Earlier this month, the DNC advanced a plan to approve the nomination of the Biden-Harris ticket virtually ahead of the convention. Party leaders initiated the move when it appeared that Ohio wouldn't change its August 7th filing deadline for presidential candidates to appear on the ballot, which would have made the nomination at the Chicago convention too late for Mr. Biden. Ohio has since moved the filing deadline to September 1st, but Democrats say they don't trust the Republican legislature and governor and are pushing forward with a virtual nomination. So they're going to attempt to virtually nominate the Biden-Harris ticket so that going into the convention, it's already been done due to timing there. Is this unusual? Or is this, I guess, just in the purview of the party to do?
Well, it's in the purview of the party to do. The DNC, the committees that run both the DNC and the RNC have the ability to change their rules pretty much at any time within their bylaws, as long as, they have a vote and the members agree to change it. So, I don't think any particular rule that's in place is going to prevent them from doing what they ultimately want to do, because if there was a rule blocking them, they would just vote to change the rule.
The last question I have for you, Hans, is about the potential incapacitation or the potential resignation of Joe Biden from the campaign after nomination. And, in the state of Illinois, where I live, I think voting starts 40 days before Election Day. If that nomination ends up, it'd be wild, but midstream, after first votes have been cast in states like Illinois, is there a blanket law about a vote for Joe Biden on day 2 of early voting? Should that nominee be switched afterwards? Do those Joe Biden votes go to the new Democratic nominee?
Well, remember, we have an electoral college. So when you go in and vote, you're voting actually for electors who have pledged to vote for, example, Joe Biden. And I suspect what would simply happen if, for some reason, Joe Biden left the ticket in the middle of the voting process, when people have already, started sending in ballots, is that the Democratic electors, when they actually have their vote after the election, would simply change their pledged vote for Biden and vote for whoever the new Democratic nominee is.
So, Hans, if this is a wild hypothetical just to prove a point here, then, if I, as a Republican voter in the state of Illinois, vote for Donald Trump, I'm voting for Donald Trump's electors. Is it within the realm of possibility that in the state of Illinois, if all the electors came together, maybe Donald Trump becomes no longer an available candidate for whatever particular reason, can that group of electors choose to vote for anybody?
That depends entirely on the state.
So that's on the state.
A lot of states have put in laws that say that electors have to vote for the individual they pledged they would vote for. And in some states, if they don't do that, they can be fined monetarily. Or in other states, I think Colorado is one, they can actually remove you as an elector and send in a substitute. And in fact,
an alternate
there was a set of cases before the U.S. Supreme Court just recently in which people were contesting. Electors who had wanted to change their minds were contesting whether the state could discipline them for doing that. And Supreme Court said, yep, the states can do that.
So could those, if you elected Joe Biden, if a state elects Joe Biden, those electors in some states could then say Hillary Clinton? If
they could, but they would potentially be subject to being fined, again, depending on the state, or in some states being removed as an elector and have a substitute come in who would fulfill the pledge to vote for Biden.
Okay. And then if you're fined, does your vote still count for the alternate?
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
I wonder if there's some funds out there that would be willing to invest in those fines.
That's very possible.
Hans, we love having you on. Thank you so much for the conversation today.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Hans von Spakovsky, Senior Legal Fellow, the Heritage Foundation, expert in elections. We're always grateful to have that conversation with him. Quick break. When we come back, Ryan Wiggins in studio here to give us an update on some stories that he's bringing to us. So don't go away. Wiggins American next. We want to know about your thoughts on RFK Jr. at the CNN debate. They said no, he didn't meet the qualifications. Did you want to see him at that debate? Go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Vote. Let us know why. We'll be right back.
One kid helps pay the rent.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Going to prison. One just might be president. Only in America, dreaming in red, white, and blue. Only in America.
Well, I love when I get to meet people like Sean and Kristen from Rapid Rental Renovations, because they are small business owners right here in St. Louis. And they are growing their business partially because of you responding to, when you hear it talked about on the radio like this. Rapid Rental Renovations is a great company. They specialize, if you have rental properties, whether they be apartments or single-family dwellings or whatever it is, they specialize in coming in and first cleaning it out, if you need that, because that's how their business started. MurphyCleanoutServices.com is the website, MurphyCleanoutServices.com. But they go way beyond that now. So whether you need the place cleaned out or whether you need work done, whether it be small stuff like you need the blinds replaced and you need a couple holes in the walls patched or whatever, they do that stuff. But they also do big stuff like flooring, like roofs, like full countertops and not expensive stuff, because they know you're doing rentals. So they know your business. That's what's great about Rapid Rental Renovations. Visit them online and you can call them and talk to them, or you can send them pictures by text, a couple different phone numbers for you to do that. All right there at that one website, MurphyCleanoutServices.com. Again, see everything they do there, MurphyCleanoutServices.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hello, it's Mike Carter here. I don't know if you've ever heard of McNair Grade School over in the Hazelwood School District, but Alexander McNair was Missouri's first governor, and he's said to have been the only state official wearing a fashionable cloth coat when Missouri secured its statehood. The year was 1821, and most legislators were dressed in homespun clothes, fringed hunting shirts, and buckskin. Carter Law offices are just a few blocks from the first state capitol down on Main Street in St. Charles, and like our state, we've grown over the years. But one thing we've never forgotten is our connection to the people of St. Charles County and our great state of Missouri. I'm Mike Carter, the founder of Carter Law offices, and I also serve as general counsel to one of the largest employers in St. Charles County, and I'm a past director of the St. Louis Board of Realtors. I also serve as municipal judge for the fastest growing city in St. Charles County, and I have a news talk program on Fox and ABC called Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, where I interview today's state officials and newsmakers. Not many these days are dressed in buckskin, but they do answer to you the same way those elected officials did over 200 years ago. Check them out at MikeCarter.com.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Del's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2024. Save 60%. Code 2024. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
Start your summer road trip at Midas and get up to $30 off your next repair service. Plus, get a free closer look vehicle check to make sure your road trip ready. So if you need a brake service, an alignment check, or tune-up, hit up Midas for up to $30 off. For more details, request your appointment at Midas.com.
Would you like to see RFK Jr. at the CNN debate? Yes or no? Let us know, not just yes or no, but let us know why in the comments. You type in Annie Fry into YouTube, and the YouTube live chat poll along with the stream will come up. You can watch us there and participate in the poll. It is 12:50 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The race for Missouri's 15th Senate District is heating up. Mark Cox here. Join me Wednesday, June 26th at the Lodge of Des Peres. We're going to hold a candidate forum. The event is free, but space is limited. Register at 971talk.com/events.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Sad news. Donald Sutherland has passed, and this is where I just learned that Kiefer Sutherland is Don Sutherland's son. I don't know those types of trivial things, but I saw that post on X that Don Sutherland has passed away. So sad.
Wiggins! Oh, Wiggins! Well, that kind of goes along with some stories, because these are kind of things that make you go, what, really? So things like that. This one, out of the ordinary, I would say. Nationwide has dropped pet insurance for 100,000 policy owners. Now, if you are wondering how many people do pet insurance, about 25%, roughly 1 in 4 Americans who own a cat or dog do pet insurance, and it's around $53 a month for dogs, $32 a month for cats. I was just wondering if this is something that you guys have ever considered, being dog owners.
Considered being dog owners?
No, about pet insurance. If you guys have ever
I have pet
thought
insurance.
that would be a good idea, because I've always, when I had a dog, looked at that and thought, boy, that could be really valuable, but I've never really taken the plunge.
Terry and I have considered it, but we decided not to do it because the deductible was so high that it just kind of made it it made it cost prohibitive. So
Right. Yeah, Nationwide is saying that the reason they're doing this is because of, guessed it, inflation in the cost of veterinary care, and other factors have led to recent underwriting changes and withdrawal of some products in some states. It's just making it more difficult to do. So there you go. There's your first one that makes you go, what? Second one, maybe I should have saved this for a California-specific Wiggins America, but it did take place in California. A Secret Service agent was robbed at gunpoint in Southern California on the same night President Biden visited the region for a fundraiser over the weekend. So this was a Secret Service agent. We don't know whether he was protecting Jill Biden, Joe Biden, or possibly Barack Obama.
Are you sure he was? I don't think he was working.
He was off.
Yeah.
He was off.
I don't think he was working. I
off
think
the clock.
Just happened to be.
But he was there, and so we don't know if he was protecting one of those three. But he was there, and he was robbed.
We know that he wasn't actively protecting them when he was robbed.
Correct.
That's the point.
Yes. Yes. He was off duty.
He was Joe Citizen, who happened to also be Secret Service.
Correct. Yeah. So he was off duty. He did apparently, now it was an armed robbery, so the Secret Service agent must have had a weapon. He discharged that weapon. That's all we know about. We don't know whether the assailants were struck. It's just a story that is another one that makes you go, what? Out of California, of course. How about this? Teachers are the most stressed out workers in America, according to
just ask them.
Yeah, and we're married to them, so I figured we could ask them very, very quickly. According to a national survey from Rand Corporation, teachers work longer hours and earn less than comparable workers, report feelings of job-related stress or burnout twice as much as other workers. In total, 59% of teachers reported feeling job-related stress, compared to about 33% of comparable working adults. Do we find this to be true? Do we collectively, being married to teachers?
Right now, my wife is not very stressed.
Yeah, because she gets months off.
Yeah. Whenever they calculate this and they say teachers are underpaid, are they calculating their salary based on 12 months or with June, July, and August off?
It's a good question. I wonder the same thing.
Because actually, the way the salaries are structured, they're structured to only pay you for the times that you're working, which means that there's 3 months that you're not working that you're not getting paid for. Now, you can have your district stretch your paycheck out for those 12 months.
You could also get a summer job.
Yeah. Yeah, and you could actually work those extra 3 months. So,
yeah. And I know people who have. My wife always says she's going to, and then when the time comes, I discourage her from doing that because we have 3 kids at home, and it would be really hard to work that extra job. But
I don't think the teachers aren't stressed. I just think that they underestimate how stressed everybody else is and underpaid.
I hear you. It says that teachers reported an average base salary in the United States of $70,000.
So sad.
Compared, now here's where you go.
I'm married to a teacher, people.
So
I'm married to a public school teacher.
It says
before everybody gets all worked up.
Compared to an average base pay of roughly $88,000 for comparable working adults. I'm looking at that going, really?
Now do the math with the months.
Go look at the people who are doing the exact same job and doing it in a parochial school. Go look at what a Lutheran school teacher makes. I don't know what a Catholic school teacher makes comparative to a Lutheran school, but Catholic schools are funded by the Catholic Church in a way that Lutheran schools aren't funded by the Lutheran Church. Other private schools, look at what these parochial schools are doing and what these teachers are getting paid, and compare it to what the public school teachers are getting paid. And Crimea River. There are people who are underpaid, that's for sure. It's usually not the complainers, though. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Tyrus, don't go away.
I don't know. On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
It's easy to go to igotfloored.com and, don't skip what I'm about to say, but you can learn it all for yourself on Michael's Flooring Outlet's website, because shopping for flooring is fun. It's exciting. And the remake of your home, your space, your business, whatever it is that you're going to install new flooring in, that's really exciting, because it's such a way to bring to life a space that you've kind of overlooked for quite some time. So if you're looking to make a flooring purchase, shop wherever you want to shop, but just give Michael's Flooring and Outlet an opportunity to earn your business. Before you make that final decision, you'll be glad that you did, because they have the quality flooring that you're looking for paired with great value. That matters. That matters. Every dollar that you spend right now, every hard-earned penny that you have in your pocket or your bank accounts, you need to protect it. Michael's Flooring Outlet is there to help you do that without any sacrifice of quality or care in the process. Get your estimate online, see the products that they have available, and reviews at igotfloored.com.
Hello, Mike Carter here. I wonder if you knew that after the purchase of the Louisiana Territory in 1804, a formal three-flag ceremony was held in St. Louis to mark the transfer. the Spanish flag lowered and the French tricolor raised. That in turn was lowered the next day, and the flag of the young Republic of the United States stood tall. I'm Mike Carter of Carter Law Offices here, and at that moment, the people living here went from being subjects to being citizens of a great free nation. Jump ahead 220 years to what we have become, and over 6 million men, women, and children now call Missouri home. Our largest cities are an economic powerhouse, and our small towns and family farms remain the heart of the nation. A friend wrote me one time at Carter Law Offices, "Hey, Mike Carter, why don't Missouri residents show their pride by flying our state flag more often like the folks in Texas?" I was like, that's a really great idea. And I was thinking, maybe anybody who's listening to this, if you want to send me an email at mike@carterlegal.com with your name and address if you're okay doing so, and I'll send you a free state flag, and you can hang it out on your front porch and show everybody you're as proud of Missouri as I am.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's time to up the game against Russia. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That message from two lawmakers proposing a bipartisan resolution that would designate Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism.
If there was any doubt about who Putin is in terms of a terrorist state, he just entered into a defense agreement with North Korea, for God's sake, and pledging to help their nuclear program.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham alongside Democrat Richard Blumenthal. Only North Korea, Iran, Syria, and Cuba currently have the terrorism sponsor designation under U.S. law. The White House says Ukraine is in desperate need of more air defense capabilities, so they'll delay shipments of those systems to other countries.
Several countries will have their deliveries of hundreds of U.S. Patriot and NASAM air defense missiles delayed so those weapons can be reprioritized to Ukraine. National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says.
This will ensure that we'll be able to provide Ukraine with the missiles they need to maintain their stockpiles at a key moment in the war. And as we get, again, towards the end of summer and into the fall.
Kirby says the decision was difficult but necessary. He also says the reprioritization will not impact Israel or Taiwan, but would not name the countries that will have shipments delayed.
Fox's Jared Halpern. South Korea reportedly considering sending arms to Ukraine after Russia and North Korea signed that new pact. Russia's President Putin says that it's nothing for Seoul to worry about, and that supplying arms to Ukraine would be a big mistake. Just getting word, actor Donald Sutherland has died, the legendary star of many movies, including MASH and more recently, The Hunger Games.
Hope. It is the only thing stronger than fear.
In a career that spans 7 decades, he was also the father of actor Kiefer Sutherland, who confirmed his death in a social media post, writing about a life well lived. Donald Sutherland was 88. America is listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Keeping it hot and just right on time. The summer season officially begins at 3:50 this afternoon. Sunshine in control, 96 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 90s this evening, 75 for the low. Friday, sunny, 99. Saturday, partly sunny, 99. Sunday, a couple of scattered morning thunderstorms, otherwise partly sunny, 94. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Thinking of popping the question? Diamonds Direct has an offer you can't miss. This month only, buy a natural diamond engagement ring of 1 carat plus and receive a free natural 1 carat diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. Imagine giving her the ring of her dreams and her wedding gift all at once. No one provides education, selection, and value like Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet from your friends at Diamonds Direct won't last long. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
We're here to help you get registered to vote, whether you're in Missouri or Illinois. Democracy 2024 on 97.1 FM Talk. If you need help getting registered, go to 971talk.com/vote.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, the important thing, Mika, I think, is that the terms and the rules of next week's debate mostly suit Biden. They're the ones Biden requested. No live audience, which Trump, of course, needs and feeds off, so that's bad for Trump. Mic of the one not speaking gets turned off. They're muted. Ditto. And then there's 2 commercial breaks. I guess you could see them as, given both men's age, as bathroom breaks. But the interesting thing here is I think this is going to be one of the few presidential debates, this and the one scheduled for September, that could sway an election.
You're becoming like my most stable relationship. Enough said.
Well, he's a regular on Gutfeld, Fox News contributor, author, and stand-up comedian. Tyrus is with us once again this Thursday. Welcome back, Tyrus. Good to have you.
Always a pleasure.
I think last week you said you didn't think Biden was going to debate. He's retreated now to start prepping for this debate. I'm wondering if you still think that Biden's not going to show up, and if he does show up, what you expect to see.
Well, I think he needs to be drug tested.
I do too.
That's the biggest thing, is that because he seems, whenever he has 10 days for something, he can come out and he can give you about 20, 25 minutes of reading from a teleprompter. I don't know how he's going to do it any other way. It's been a disaster. So obviously he's going to have the questions ahead of time. It's not like we haven't had to deal with that before. Wasn't it Hillary Clinton had somebody sliding her the questions for the debate? So there's probably going to be a lot of that. It's probably going to be very manufactured. The microphone being controlled by a network that has spent the last 7 years trying to create this narrative that Trump is a Russian spy / Nazi agent and just general all-around bad human being. They're going to be controlling the microphone. I have a little issue with that, but I think Trump's willingness to debate him, he was willing to just let him have whatever they want. And sometimes and that goes back to my saying where how everyone has lowered the bar with President Biden, even President Trump, which I think might be a mistake because he wouldn't be doing all these courtesies for Trump.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. The question would be, can you have a debate or not? Not well, because it's not a debate. It's now a CNN-controlled debate. So it's not much of a debate. And I guarantee that when Trump starts going on a roll, his mic will cut off. Or if he's calling out some what we know it to be now truths, the mic will go out. So I think it's going to be more. I don't think it's going to change anybody's mind after the debate. I think we're all on the same page. Biden being aggressive and yelling and at Trump and stuff will be. It'll be lots of stuff for our show to make it up, but I think across the board, America's kind of sick of it, and we'll see. But I just can't see anybody being like, "Wow, that was an amazing debate." Seeing how they're making sure like there's no audience because if someone yells something, Biden won't get distracted and wander off stage. They're only proving what we all know to be true, that Father Time is undefeated, and he is a full court press on President Biden. So, and I think this debate just proves that.
You know, Tyrus, I think that everybody's eyes on this debate are on Joe Biden. Like, can he hang? And we're hearing a lot of people say, similar to what you just said, that expectations are being dramatically lowered for Joe Biden. They did the exact same thing during the State of the Union. Lower the expectations. He came out on something that I would like to have some of and was floored. He was ready to go. And every single time he went off paper, off prompter, he screwed it up. But he didn't do it too much. So people were like, look at him. He did an hour of speaking.
He read the foot-long letters in the teleprompter because we have a teleprompter president. He's Ron Burgundy. Whatever's on there, he read it.
And who's putting the stuff in the teleprompter? Like who's
that's whoever writes the notebook, I'm assuming.
Well, what I think is going to be interesting about this debate, and maybe an under-discussed part of this topic, is that Donald Trump does have the ability to affect how Americans perceive him with this debate. Because, you know, everyone's talking about there's no audience. That doesn't benefit Donald Trump. They're going to cut the mics off. That doesn't benefit Donald Trump. And then in that clip we just played, they're like, well, they both are old, so 2 breaks will help both of them. It's a way to diminish the criticism against Joe Biden and elevate a criticism against Donald Trump. But if we have the opportunity to see Donald Trump come out and, you know, maybe defy the expectations of him being combative and angry and attacking the old feeble man on the other side of the stage, I really do think that there is a huge upside for Donald Trump if he handles this debate with some grace and class that I think he's absolutely capable of doing.
I would argue, considering as much stuff that they've thrown at him and his family, that he has handled it with some form of class. We've seen very controlled in the court after the courtroom interviews and stuff. I think we're going to see him not look at Biden as an opponent. I wouldn't. I would look at him. If I could put this in sporting terms, if anyone has free time today, Google or YouTube the fight between Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes, where at certain points in the fight, Larry was begging him to just go down. He did not want to hit him anymore. He knew he was no longer the guy that he idolized, the guy that he wanted to fight, and what he got in that ring was a man whose abilities had left him a long time ago. And Larry, as he's the fight asking the champ to quit, And I think we're going to see that from President Trump in terms of, I think he wants to blame, like all of us, most people who are, it's not about a Democratic or Republican thing. We think, how could his wife let him go out like that?
Yep.
How could his family let him go out like that? Which makes me believe his relationship with them prior to him failing, his failing health was probably not that great. Because
go ahead.
Why would you send him out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who
does
would
that?
you be enough?
I think that Donald Trump's, if he will squarely focus his, how do you win? That's if you're a competitor, if you're, an athlete, if you're somebody who is out there looking to win something, you have to be able to define what the actual competition is in order to defeat it. And I do not agree with the idea, not your idea, but the idea that Joe Biden is Donald Trump's competitor. I think that what Donald Trump has to defeat is the narrative that exists about who he is, that facade that has been successfully manufactured since before he won the 2016 election. I think that the surface on that is cracked. And if he can defeat the preconceived notion that American voters have that has been very heavily invested in time and money by the left, and if he can defeat that, people can see him for who he really is. Not every one of those individuals is going to go say, yeah, I'm pulling the lever for Donald Trump, but I think enough of them will to make the effective difference.
No, I think if Trump treats this, like I said, I call it the Larry Holmes debate, where he knows that his opponent can't go anymore. And I think if he handles that way, and we've seen it, I think we saw in his last campaign rally where he talked about he doesn't feel it was Joe's fault. He feels like Joe's doing the best he can with what he got, and he just doesn't have it anymore. And I think if that's his attitude in terms of his tone and the way he's talking, I think he will make what everyone else sees like, yeah, there is no fight here. Mm-hmm. This guy can't. And whereas Joe, I think, will become frustrated and he'll be saying felon no matter what the answer is, the answer will end with he's a felon.
Yeah.
So
people get sick of that.
I think I wouldn't participate in the sense of I would not battle him. I would start out showing I could and then be like, there's just nothing. I can't enjoy this. I wouldn't even be mad at him after 3 ridiculous questions in if he packs it up and says, you know what, there's nothing else. The American people have seen all they need to see. I can't and pull the eject cord and let CNN fill it in with their 1,500 panelists that will come in and talk about how evil it is for the next 2 hours. So that probably would be my route. I'd take a page out of Animal House. As Jake Tapper tells him he's finished, he's done, he's through, he just casually walks out.
Tyrus, what do you make of the Barack Obama assisted exit at the fundraiser this past weekend? Joe Biden standing there. Huh?
Hidden message.
Hidden message?
Hidden message. Obama, who can't publicly because he's, unfortunately, it would be nice to see somebody who put country in front of party, but that's about as close as we're going to get. Not only did he have to grab his hand and bring him back, and then he had to help him and push him in the right direction to go off, he was letting everybody know, whether he planned it or not, that Joe couldn't even do that. So I think we all saw it.
Do you think he was hanging him out to dry?
Yeah, I think I refuse to believe that it's all love between those two. You think of what Joe Biden did during the Obama administration, where he knew that anything that he did was not going to ever be blamed on him. It was going to be blamed on Obama. And Obama was, one of his biggest thing was making sure there was no off-the-field issues of any kind. And this is when he decided to hold up Ukraine and send his family members out to China. He was doing all these things under the protection of the Obama banner because he knew it would get blamed on who? Obama. So I don't think, and if they had a great relationship, Joe would have been running for president at the end of his term to carry it on. Instead, he went with Hillary, and that speaks volumes. And I don't think I think Obama is more worried about his legacy, and whatever remnants of Joe is in there will preserve that, opposed to another 4 years of Trump where he might change more things. But Trump left healthcare alone. So, I just feel like that was about as close as we're going to get it to an impartial opinion about somebody in terms of he had to help him off. And they're like, you didn't have to do that. Yeah, everyone else has to.
Yeah, this isn't new info. You know, the thing that I was saying this a little bit earlier in the show today, but I think it's under discussed as well that there's the whole Barack Obama part of it, which I completely agree with you. Barack Obama always knows what he's doing when he's on stage. But but nobody's really talking about the fact that, you know, they're discussing like, did Obama need to do that? Did he know how that would look? I think all of the answers, yes, to all of the above. But nobody's really talking about how Joe Biden was just hanging out there. And the second that someone grabbed his hand, put their hand on the small of his back and guided him away, he just did what he was told. You know, if there was no more glad handing and finger guns to all the fancy people. He just did what he was told. He didn't push back at all.
Same thing with Macron, the World War II vets, who's at the end you're supposed to shake hands with everyone. His wife comes out, grabs him, and he immediately walks off because they didn't want him to get lost or confused meeting people that they hadn't approved already. Like, this isn't. You don't need to deep fake this.
Yeah. Cheap fake.
That's all. You know, John Pierre is a disgrace. I don't care whether if no job is that great to come out and just lie to the American people all the time. I mean, there's no job worth it. I would be like, great, thanks for the opportunity, but I can't say this with a straight face.
Do you think Corinne Jean-Pierre believes what she's saying?
I think it's when any DEI hire, there's this overwhelming sense of narcissistic arrogance. You know, I'm walking history is some of the comments that she has made, and you know, she's aggressive with the press is not buying her stuff, and whenever she's questioning anything off, she has the same issue off script too. If you ask her anything off script, she falls apart. You know, and she's really made that job look bad. And there's been Pataki was good. You don't have to agree with her, but she was good. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big fan. We'll circle back to that, but she was a good president. I'm not taking anything away from her. Jean-Pierre is not.
Yeah.
Or they just give her stuff to read because they know that her level, to where they don't tell her much. But for her to come out and say, now I think she's just freestyling. It just looks worse. You know, we had a trans person shoot up a school, and she came out to let trans people know that she stands with them. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think that was written by the president or the White House. I think it was just whomever is making these progressive policy decisions, and who knows, maybe she's a part of it. So, you know, who's making these decisions on behalf of President Biden, they've ruined whatever historic legacies he's had, because now he'll go down as the most progressive president in the history of our times, which goes a complete opposite of what his entire 40 years or 50 years was in the House and in the Senate. So it's just it's really sad that Joe Biden is being used to the level of he's being used, because I feel like you don't know when it's over, you know, and when my time comes, when I start to forget and things like that, I hope my family remembers the hard work that I put in and be like, you know what, Dad, no more Fox today.
We got you.
Call it.
Yeah.
You know, and I probably won't want to do it because I'm stubborn. But, you know, at the end of the day, hopefully they'll love me enough to protect me from myself.
Yeah, I agree completely. Before we let you go, Red Sox 40 and 35 take 2 of 3 from the Yankees, which...
Not only do... Now listen. Again, I told you how I act like the season's over as part of my...
Yeah, I think I know your act.
I did the same thing when they traded Marcus Smart away for Porzingis. I said, wow, just let's get in line for the lottery now. And, you know, and then that turned into a championship. But the Red Sox, to be supportive, broke the record for steals against the Yankees. And I was trolling one of the Yankees owners because I was like, listen, this is my World Series. The Yankees should win the World Series. They really should. They're loaded. And the Red Sox, if we even get within a breath of the wild card, that's a good season because all our guys are young or whatever. But I said, but as long as we win the series against the Yankees, it's made it for me. And not only did we win it, we put hands on him. And he was very protective of his catcher. And he said, you know, you probably should get some rest, Tyrus. You've been texting me a lot. And, you know, well, if the worst case of things go wrong, I can just steal from you guys. So he was very unhappy. And I said, oh, sorry, I stole that from someone else. So every time he talks to me, I talk about grand theft and Yankees. It is New York, so whatever Red Sox stole from them will be out that day. So he'll be back in game 2 to steal more bases. So it's really a good time to be stealing in New York.
Yeah, it is. It's never been better.
Yeah, even when your socks are red and everyone sees you steal it. So I'm just going to enjoy it. I still think we will fall apart in time for our bet. But right now, anytime we beat the Yankees is a good day.
Yeah.
And given the fact that I thought we were going to get murdered. The first game, just one that hasn't landed yet. Actually, be on the lookout. It might land somewhere by half. I'll take it. I'll take it for right now.
Well, and Jason Tatum, St. Louisan, Boston Celtic, had a good week.
Yes, and I think it's funny that no one can just enjoy championships. They immediately start talking, well, how's it going to be remembered in history? Or is this one of the greatest teams? And I just find, just give them 48 hours. And not just, any champion. When they win the Super Bowl or whatever that is, give them 2 days.
Let it be.
Before you start trying to pick things apart and all these experts. I think that's the biggest problem with sports, wrestling today. We used to watch the game, read the paper the next day, and then talk to your buddies about it, and then you watch the game. Now we spend time watching people talk about the game who have as much influence as the game as we do.
Yeah.
So we need to get back to just, you win the championship, until the parade's over, you don't talk about next year.
You could almost say the same thing about politics. And sports was supposed to be the reprieve from politics, so it's just a little incestuously worse.
Yeah, but I do want stats in politics. I do want senators and House stats, like how many laws they passed, how many times they've been to work, how many election promises that they kept. 3 stats. That's it.
End of game. Tyrus, we'll talk.
Statistician they're bored. Can't pay you much money, but I'll be indebted to you forever.
Sounds good. Well, congratulations to you and your Boston Celtics. Good to have you back on the show, and we will update again on the great success of the Red Sox season next Thursday.
Yeah, go Cardinals.
Thank you. We appreciate that. We need all the help we can get. Tyrus, regular on Gutfeld, Fox News contributor, host of Maintaining with Tyrus on Outkick, and his streaming special on Fox Nation. Tyrus, Here and Now. Go check it out. Let's take a quick break. We'll get Ryan Wiggins back in studio here in just a minute. Would you have liked to see RFK Jr. at the CNN debate? Yes or no? He didn't make the cut. He's not going to be there. You disappointed in that? Let us know if you would have liked to seen him on the debate stage. I peeked at the results as they are progressing. They are close. Get your vote in. You might have an impact on swaying that poll one way or the other. Take a quick break here. We'll be back in just a minute.
On the job from 9 to 5.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Getting by, it's all taking and no giving. They just use your mind and they never give you credit. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it.
Well, when you're done working 9 to 5 and you're going to retire and you need to make sure that all of that hard work that you've been putting in over the years pays off, you call the Retirement Advisory Group. 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. The Retirement Advisory Group will sit down with you and create a personalized, structured income plan directly for you so that you know what's going to happen. The thing that you fear, the anxiety that you might have and materialize as you are moving into retirement, it's pretty much based on not knowing. Not being confident that what you have planned for yourself is going to pay off. Why not give yourself the actual information of what retirement is going to look like for you? When you partner with the Retirement Advisor Group, it starts with a free conversation that ends with zero obligation, your choice what you do after that. You will learn exactly what you need to know about where retirement will, or what retirement will look like for you. Make the phone call. Tell them Annie sent you. 314-993-9494, online at retirementkey.com.
If you're thinking of selling your home, I'm sure there are 2 things you want: certainty and the most money, right? Hi, it's Mark Cox, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know the only agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first and only call when looking for an agent. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. No, she provides written guarantees. Now, what does this mean for you? Certainty. Now, certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she'll buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Hello, it's Mike Carter here. I don't know if you've ever heard of McNair Grade School over in the Hazelwood School District, but Alexander McNair was Missouri's first governor, and he's said to have been the only state official wearing a fashionable cloth coat when Missouri secured its statehood. The year was 1821, and most legislators were dressed in homespun clothes, fringed hunting shirts, and buckskin. Carter law offices are just a few blocks from the first state capitol down on Main Street in St. Charles, and like our state, we've grown over the years. But one thing we've never forgotten is our connection to the people of St. Charles County and our great state of Missouri. I'm Mike Carter, the founder of Carter Law Offices, and I also serve as general counsel to one of the largest employers in St. Charles County, and I'm a past director of the St. Louis Board of Realtors. I also serve as municipal judge for the fastest growing city in St. Charles County, and I have a news talk program on Fox and ABC called Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, where I interview today's state officials and newsmakers. Not many these days are dressed in buckskin, but they do answer to you the same way those elected officials did over 200 years ago. Check them out at MikeCarter.com.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Senator Schmidt with us.
All of a sudden now we've got a mass amnesty program on top of the 10 million people who are here illegally, Mark.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Stop me on the corner.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
But who am I to tell Faye where it's supposed to go with it? Don't you blink, you might miss it. See, we got a right to just love it or leave it. You find it and keep it, cause it ain't every day you get the chance to say, oh, this is how it starts. Lightning strikes.
The outrageous charges in New York were a corrupt creation of crooked Joe Biden and his group. And they really weaponized, what they did is they weaponized the Department of Justice. They weaponized all the White House.
So there you have Donald Trump talking about the weaponization of America. And here you have Brooks and Dunn saying this.
One could end up going to prison. One just might be president.
Man, that song hits differently today.
What if that's the same guy they're talking about in both of those instances?
He's gonna have to write a new song.
We'll write into Brooks and Dunn and let him know.
We played that song as bump music earlier, and I was like, hey, this is happening.
What's amazing how many times...
It used to be an if or, but now it's an and or.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how many times we've heard that song. I actually only know that song from being on this show because I'm not a country guy.
That's unbelievable.
But I've heard that song many times because we've used it as bump music.
You've only ever heard that song in the show?
I mean, if I have, I don't recognize it from outside the show. I recognize it from here. And hearing that today when you said, oh my gosh, that line, I was like, oh wow, we've never noticed that before. That's amazing.
June 18th, 2001 was the release of that song. That's crazy. I guess constitutionally they didn't really check their notes and realize it could be the same person.
Brooks and Dunn didn't.
Well, yes, or whoever wrote it. Didn't one of them die?
I hope not.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain one of them is passed. I'm looking it up. It's hard to look it up and run a show at the same time. Donald Trump is obviously using the weaponization of the DOJ against him. That's his allegation. I tend to agree with it. If you look at what Joe Biden's what is his commitment to America should he be reelected? He hasn't really made one. His commitment is to continue to not be Donald Trump, which he can do. He can do that for you. He can continue to be not Donald Trump as long as he is effectively upright. The expectations for Joe Biden at the debate next Thursday are incredibly low, but the expectations for Joe Biden are incredibly low for the debate as much as they are incredibly low for him as a president. So I don't really know how people who are arguing about saying be careful about lowering those expectations for Biden at the debate. I mean, those expectations are low because people are aware of the situation. Without any deep fake, cheap fake, whatever bullcrap they're trying to shovel our way at this point in time, it's very obvious that the American voter is looking at Joe Biden with the smallest of expectations. And should he exceed those expectations, that doesn't necessarily indicate that Americans are then pleased by them. If anything, it kind of is eye-roll inducing. RFK Jr. was announced today did not meet the threshold to attend and participate in the CNN debate. And we're questioning whether or not you would like to see RFK Jr. at that debate. You can let us know, yes or no, on the Annie Fry YouTube channel as to whether or not you are hoping to see that. But the announcement was made today that he would not do it. Here's one of the things we've discussed here recently. Donald Trump has been talking about eliminating taxes on tips.
I had the opportunity to be with President Trump in all three of his meetings last Thursday. Very issue-oriented, very positive. In every meeting, he talked about eliminating the tax on tips, which I think politically is a brilliant idea. And poses for the Democrats, are you really going to vote against a tax cut for what used to be the very base of your party, hardworking Americans who are eking out a living and who are very heavily taxed?
So you have a situation where the people who will benefit from no taxes on tips that are being implemented at your restaurants or however many billions of places you can tip now. Donald Trump is out there saying, and he's repeating it, he's going all in on this. We talked to Steve Moore about it on Monday. And my question was to Steve Moore was, yeah, but can you really do it? How many times have you heard a politician make promises that they know that they can't keep, but it sounds good in the campaign? So they go with it. They run with it. And then they get into office and it's not completely Democrats in the House or it's not completely Republicans in the Senate. So like, oh, well, we're going to try, but we can't effectively make this happen. I said to Steve Moore, is that something you could do? And he had an emphatic yes. His voice got really high, and he was very vocal about the fact that, of course, you can keep government from taxing those tips. I do think it's a smart political move, but I also think it's smart policy. Here's more from Gingrich.
But Trump's ultimate commitment is to a very prosperous America. He understands, and I heard him in the meeting with the roundtable CEOs. He gets it that deregulation is as important as tax cuts. You've got to do both.
It's important for, it's very important for Donald Trump to be coming out with policy because that's not what the Biden side is doing. The Biden side, they're not doing anything. They're not out there effectively pushing any policy. Like even on the border, the policy of the Biden administration has been to undo what Donald Trump has done. And then you get us to the point where just in the last week, Joe Biden's like, I'm going to do what the Republicans refuse to do. And then he signs an executive order. How do you reconcile Joe Biden saying he's going to do what the Republicans weren't willing to do? And of course, he throws Trump in the mix, saying Trump said, don't do this. And they just salute and say, yes, sir. And they do whatever Donald Trump says. Joe Biden just signed an executive order. How do you reconcile Joe Biden signing an executive order, which did not effectively change much of anything on the southern border, with him barking over and over and over, "Give me the power." And he's talking to not Congress, not the House, not the Senate. He's talking to congressional Republicans. Why? Because the only thing that matters here is politics. The southern border doesn't matter crap to Joe Biden, other than the fact that the open border is allowing people to come into the country that he now just recently told us, if you've been here for a long time, if you've been married to someone in the United States, you should be able to stay. That's the policy? Give me the power. Dude, you've got the power. It's more indicative of your current state of mind that you don't realize it. Or you're being told not to use it. Meanwhile, the Republicans, over a year ago, signed H.R. 2 and sent it over to the Democrats in the Senate, who have refused to discuss it. They whipped up some sort of immigration border control situation in the Senate that was created by a Republican senator who didn't even end up voting for it himself because he realized, among other Republicans, how much of a dead end it was. There is no problem that the Democrats aren't willing to solve that they didn't create to begin with. That's the sad state of affairs. That's the political nature of how the Democrat Party operates. The Democrats' solution to every problem is more government. That's why they're so invested in creating the problems, because the problems result in more government that they can control, more government that they can appoint, bureaucracy to maintain from administration to administration to administration. If there's a Republican identification of a problem, the conservative application is less government, less regulation. Let the people regulate the situation themselves, if you can trust them with it. That's the way the Democrats think. And the Democrats always think, no, we can't trust those silly little plebes to handle this problem. Let us do the heavy lift. It wouldn't be such a heavy lift if you wouldn't make it such a heavy lift to begin with, because the problems almost always are manufactured by the Democrats who have the power to do so. Or to manufacture victims and victimhood in places where you don't actually solve the problem. You just have to create a villain. If you have a victim, you can have a villain. And if you have a villain, instead of trying to pursue the solution for the victim, you just try to pursue the villain. And if you're in constant pursuit of the villain, then you can try to get the constant support of the victim. And that's the game. That's the ruse. That's why there are 8 billion Batman movies, because there's always a villain. You always need to go after the next villain and the next villain and the next villain and the next villain. That's the way. Democrats are like, see, we're Batman. That's the end of this story. The moral of this story is, look at me. That's kind of what it feels like. It's about sending a message. I could quote The Dark Knight for a long time. If you can identify the main problems that the Democrats are willing to take your money out of your hard-earned pockets, that money going to solve problems, look at the main problems that they are working to solve. The number one current focus and problem identified by the Democrats is climate change. And then you go and you look at Senator Kennedy questioning some expert who wanted like $52 billion or something insane. I can't remember what the number was off the top of my head, but this enormous amount of taxpayer funds. And he said, if we gave you all this money, if we just approved it carte blanche, how much would this help change the temperature of the earth? And the guy was like, sir, I don't have an answer to that. They don't even know. And in the meanwhile, the federal government, the state governments want to pick your pocket for all of this money to solve a problem that they can't even measure a solution to. And the places like China that are eating our lunch, they're not going to do anything different. In fact, they're probably going to double down because it's cheap. The constant pursuit of the villain as opposed to the constant pursuit of a solution to the problem. And in fact, half the time that they're identifying victims, they're not even victims. It's a tragedy. That's why you should vote Republican. That's the moral of the story. They can be Batman. I don't even care. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'll find out what Brad and Ryan think about RFK Jr. at the CNN debate. What do you think about RFK Jr. at the CNN debate? Did you want to see him there? He's not going to be, but we'd like to know if you're going to miss him. Henry said it's only fair if he meets requirements or is close. That's what citizens want, to hear from the top remaining candidates. He does make sense in some areas, would reinforce common Trump policies. That's an interesting take. Gary says, no, listening to him talk makes my throat hurt. That is one of the things that the Biden campaign, there was a suggestion that maybe people would hear RFK Jr., and I can't remember who the pundit was that said it, but was basically like, listen, I'm just going to say what nobody else is saying. People are going to like him less if they have to sit there and listen to him talk. That seems pretty ridiculous. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Brighter than the sun.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Fry Show.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the bagel loan guy. Stewie, 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. I want you to understand how much Stewie is there to help guide you through this mortgage process. I want you to understand how he makes it easier for you and shapes it so that you get the best possible outcome of the likely biggest loan you're ever going to take. Starts with the bagel loan. You don't pay any closing costs with the bagel loan. That's really that simple. If you've gone through the mortgage process before, you know that you're going to okay, here's our budget. This is the biggest offer we can make. We're going to make an offer that's a little bit smaller. Maybe right now you're making offers that are over asking price. It's really competitive out there. Those thousands of dollars that you're probably paying in closing costs, not having to be paid, that's pretty great. They don't become your responsibility rolled into the loan. You don't have to pay them down the line. They're not there. You just don't have to do it with the bagel loan. But you do got to call Stewie to get it because he's the only one who has the bagel loan. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan for more info. NMLS number 226715.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-353-9057. 800-353-9057 or biglou.com.
Hello, Mike Carter here. I wonder if you knew that after the purchase of the Louisiana Territory in 1804, a formal three-flag ceremony was held in St. Louis to mark the transfer. The Spanish flag lowered and the French tricolor raised. That in turn was lowered the next day and the flag of the young Republic of the United States stood tall. I'm Mike Carter of Carter Law Offices here, and at that moment the people living here went from being subjects to being citizens of a great free nation. Jump ahead 220 years to what we have become, and over 6 million men, women, and children now call Missouri home. Our largest cities are an economic powerhouse, and our small towns and family farms remain the heart of the nation. A friend wrote me one time at Carter Law Offices, "Hey, Mike Carter, why don't Missouri residents show their pride by flying our state flag more often like the folks in Texas?" I was like, that's a really great idea. And I was thinking, maybe anybody who's listening to this, if you want to send me an email at mike@carterlegal.com with your name and address, if you're okay doing so, and I'll send you a free state flag, and you can hang it out on your front porch and show everybody you're as proud of Missouri as I am.
Start your summer road trip at Midas and get up to $30 off your next repair service. Plus, get a free closer look vehicle check to make sure your road trip ready. So if you need a brake service, an alignment check, or tune-up, hit up Midas for up to $30 off. For more details, request your appointment at Midas.com.
We were just talking about RFK Jr. Would you like to see him at the CNN debate? That's a simple yes or no in today's poll here on Thursday, June 20th. It's the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Would you like to see RFK Jr. at the CNN debate? Let us know. It's 1:48. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here because you clearly have a refined palate. St. Louis is home for conservative talk. This is 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Made me see where I've been.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We were playing earlier that line from Brooks and Dunn's Only in America. One might go to prison, one just might be president. That's really funny. I don't think it's supposed to be funny, but here we are. I said I thought one of the members of Brooks and Dunn had passed away. It was Montgomery Gentry. One of them died in a plane crash, I think, which was, I got those confused. All right. The YouTube live chat poll for today is, would you like to see RFK Jr. at the CNN debate? Yes or no? He's not going to be there, didn't make the qualifications, but curious if you would have liked to have seen that happen. Gosh, you people on the poll. Judging based on the poll, it's close. It's very close. Let me get to some comments here. Vicky said, yes to the poll, but it was just announced he won't be. I'm still not convinced there will be a debate. And Doug said, let's see here, not Doug's. Ender said, were he even qualified for the debate? And as much as I really want to see a proper third-party candidate take the stage, I feel he would just take away from the debate. Ryan, what do you think?
I'm a theoretical yes, but I'm a no to this question because he just hasn't qualified for enough states, and he's not polling quite high enough to really be a contender in this election. So as much as I would enjoy that just as a citizen of the United States and a political participant, I'm still a no on this question.
Well, I mean, like Hillary probably would like to participate in the debate. She's not qualified.
That's very true.
And Cornel West, Jill Stein. You know, if you would be, if not you, but if they were to make an exception for RFK Jr., why would they not for the other people?
Right.
And you know, when we watch those primary debates with a dozen people on a stage or whatever,
you know,
every time you get a chance to speak, you just got to do your best commercial.
Yeah.
It's not an actual conversation, which means it's not about the American people as much as it is about the individuals. Yes, they are running to represent you, but it does become a distraction. Brad, what do you think?
I actually would like to see him in the debates. And the reason I would like to see him in the debates is because that would give people a chance to see more of his policies. And what I think that will end up doing is drawing people away from him and back to Trump, because they will see where he is on things like abortion.
You're saying it's like exposing him.
Expose him for who he is. And I think that Democrats that are tired of Joe Biden, that don't like Joe Biden, might look at RFK and go, well, he actually agrees with me on a lot of these other policies that I really like. And so I think that if he were at the debate, it could actually help Trump. So that's why I'm a yes on this.
Why do you think that Trump supporters would vote for RFK Jr.?
I think that there are people out there that want somebody that is the anti-vax candidate, and they don't like that about Donald Trump. I think for those people that's a big issue for them. And all they really know about about RFK is that he is very anti-vaccine, very anti-establishment. They like that. And these aren't Donald Trump voters per se. These are people that
I was asking Trump supporters. So
no.
You're saying that your initial point of RFK Jr. being on the stage was that you'd like him to expose his policies so that people that would vote for Trump wouldn't see that RFK Jr. is not.
It would drive the people toward Trump is what I meant to say. So the people that are kind of on the fence about Trump and they're like, okay, but you know, RFK Jr. does some stuff and I like him, it might drive that group more towards Trump. Because I don't think that group has a propensity to vote for Biden, which is why they're supporting RFK. But I also don't know that
Doesn't
they're
Donald
sold
Trump
on
have
Trump.
a lot of support from the chaos contingent? Joe Biden is the establishment dude.
Mm-hmm.
And Donald Trump is not the anti-establishment guy anymore. He's been the president for 4 years.
Yeah, that's a really good question, because that's a tough question to answer. He has been president, so it's hard to say he's not establishment, But he does seem like, and this is why it appears like he's getting more youth vote this year than usual. He's got that kind of outsider thing, even though he's a former president. It's very strange.
Yeah, if the comparison is Biden-Trump, Biden's the establishment guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, may permanently be fixed to the floor, grown from it. But the idea that there, like, if you're anti-government, or if you think, as most people do, all politicians are evil and corrupt, they all suck. And a lot of people have that opinion. Those people also aren't going to be able to tell you details of what's going on right now. And that, in many cases, is their choice. I mean, they've chosen to abstain from the idea that they're going to know the play-by-play, the daily, standings, if you will, compare it to baseball. Like, oh, we're 2 games back. Oh, we're 3.5 games back now. They're not paying attention to that. Are we playing in the playoffs this year? That's when they start to get interested. They go to the games when it means that we might win the whole thing. That's, ironically, in baseball, October, and in politics.
It's a good comparison.
And we don't have a lot of people who are going to be leaning in. Like, to me, there are not people who are supporting RFK Jr. right now who haven't dove headfirst into what RFK Jr. stands for. Like, he has rabid, passionate supporters. And they support him for a reason. I don't think that RFK Jr. has a lot of people who are excited to vote for him just because he's not Trump or Biden. You gotta be, I mean, we're in the middle of it. We're in the thick of it. I think you have to really be in the know to know that RFK Jr. is running.
Yeah, you do. And I would say this. I would say, and tell me if you disagree with this, that RFK, the people who are mainly voting for him, and maybe not everybody, but mainly, those are people who are traditional liberals, traditional Democrats, who they weren't going to vote for Biden, and they just don't know what to do this year because they don't like Trump. But these are people who have been part of Democrats since the 90s, and they're now going, just isn't me anymore, but I don't want to become a Republican.
Yes, but with the caveat that in my opinion, only reason why RFK Jr. has risen to the level of fame that he currently has right now is because he was the most vocal anti-vax person with COVID. It's much broader. Like, RFK's anti-vax stance is much broader than the COVID vaccine, but he found a lane and successfully drove in it with that. So that, I think, is what has maybe brought his name into the consideration for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know that it's enough to show up and vote for him on that one thing because, like Brad was saying, his policies are very progressive. Let us know what you think. Go vote. It's super close. We'll be right back.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
When you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Hello, it's Mike Carter here. I don't know if you've ever heard of McNair Grade School over in the Hazelwood School District, but Alexander McNair was Missouri's first governor, and he's said to have been the only state official wearing a fashionable cloth coat when Missouri secured its statehood. The year was 1821, and most legislators were dressed in homespun clothes, fringed hunting shirts, and buckskin. Carter law offices are just a few blocks from the first state capitol down on Main Street in St. Charles, and like our state, we've grown over the years. But one thing we've never forgotten is our connection to the people of St. Charles County and our great state of Missouri. I'm Mike Carter, the founder of Carter Law Offices, and I also serve as general counsel to one of the largest employers in St. Charles County, and I'm a past director of the St. Louis Board of Realtors. I also serve as municipal judge for the fastest growing city in St. Charles County, and I have a news talk program on Fox and ABC called Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, where I interview today's state officials and newsmakers. Not many these days are dressed in buckskin, but they do answer to you the same way those elected officials did over 200 years ago. Check them out at MikeCarter.com.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Del's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2024. Save 60%. Code 2024. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's the last straw for some U.S. lawmakers. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Russia's new deal with North Korea stirring action on Capitol Hill.
I rest my case.
Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal tapping into his experience as a trial lawyer by holding up a picture of Russian President Vladimir Putin in North Korea, arguing that's evidence for his colleagues to back his bipartisan bill with Senator Lindsey Graham that would add the Russian Federation to the state sponsor of terrorism list.
Two of the most autocratic, atrocity-committing leaders in the world standing together, terrorist sponsors.
The list right now includes North Korea, Cuba, Syria, and Iran.
Fox's Ron Schmelz on Capitol Hill. New York's governor just signing the Safe for Kids Act, requiring new standards for social media, including changes in algorithms and limits on newsfeed content and blocks on overnight notifications without parental consent. A spokesperson for Meta says they don't agree with every aspect of the bills, but welcome New York becoming the first state to pass legislation recognizing the responsibility of app stores. Family and fans remembering a Hollywood career that spans 7 decades.
Donald Sutherland, who became an iconic character in the 70s with major roles in films like The Dirty Dozen, MASH, and Klute, has died. He was 88 years old. The actor has had a wide-ranging career that included films like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and Ordinary People, and in recent years starred as President Snow in the film franchise The Hunger Games.
It's Everdeen. It's the things we love most that destroy us.
His son, actor Kiefer, posted on X saying his father is one of the most important actors in the history of film.
Fox's Michelle Polino. America is listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Keeping it hot and just right on time. The summer season officially begins at 3:50 this afternoon. Sunshine in control, 96 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 90s this evening, 75 for the low. Friday, sunny, 99. Saturday, partly sunny, 99. Sunday, a couple of scattered morning thunderstorms, otherwise partly sunny, 94. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Summer is right here now. Summer starts June 21st, but let's just say summer started. I have to say, if you have not been proactive and scheduled your checkup to make sure your air conditioner is ready, that's fine, because I'll be honest with you. If I wasn't in the business, I wouldn't either. So if you haven't done it, if you haven't had it checked and it does break down, just save my number in your phone. Not while you're driving, but when you stop or when you're at that light or when that really, really slow driver is in front of you in the passing lane, that's the perfect time to save my number. Call me. It's Bart Inman. One easy number. The easiest of all numbers for Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, it's bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
June 27th, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, no scripts.
Well, make my day, pal.
Oh, absolutely. He's issuing it. I wonder whether or not he shows up.
Only one place you can hear it. 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
This is a good holiday. It's a noble holiday. But of course, here's Joe Biden and his folks who can't resist calling Donald Trump and Republicans racist. Really, Joe? You can't even let up today on what should be a unifying holiday? So I'm going to tell you, you asked for this. First of all, there isn't a racist bone in Donald Trump's body. Second, it was the Abraham Lincoln and then Ulysses S. Grant Republican Party that was the party of the emancipation of the slaves.
Juneteenth yesterday, you may have noticed we were not here because it's a federal holiday And our company, Odyssey, I think is this the first year that it was recognized by?
This is first year, yep.
So this is the first year that our company, Odyssey, recognized Juneteenth as a day off for everybody. Grateful that they did. Juneteenth is such a mess, like politically, socially, because nobody knows what to do with it.
Exactly right. And I don't know about you, but whenever, and this was yesterday, I kept thinking, oh, it's Juneteenth. We had the day off. But a lot of people have that day off now all of a sudden, I think, because of the federal holiday. All I can think about when I think about it is Chuck Schumer kneeling. That's the only thing I think about when they talk about the holiday, because that is burned into my brain from when they basically started promoting it.
I haven't thought of that for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like people get it. I don't feel like people understand Juneteenth on both sides of the aisle. I have seen and heard with my own ears, my own eyes, people on the right dismissing Juneteenth as, the Juneteenth and DEI are often talked about in the same conversation. And, I'm somebody who's of the mind, like, in the DEI world that we currently live in, the diversity, equity, and inclusion world that we live in, it's kind of rich to see how many companies really, really push and invest huge portions of their annual budget into DEI practices, DEI training, all of this type of stuff, and don't give their employees the day off. That seems like a major conflict. But the idea that Juneteenth is an important day, who out there disagrees with that? Some of you listening might. But I've seen it from both sides of the aisle, people getting all hot and bothered over Juneteenth, whether people are off that day, whether certain people get to take that day off. Listen, folks, Juneteenth is not Black People Independence Day. That's not what Juneteenth is. Juneteenth is a celebration of the acknowledgement that the last slaves who were freed were made aware of it. And it took way too freaking long for that to actually happen. It is another piece of evidence that our country identified that what had been one of the most common practices in all of human history, which is the powerful enslaving the less powerful. Not here. Not now. There is an entire misunderstanding in our country that has been invested in, has been amplified when it comes to our checkered past and slavery. There are people who want to forget that slavery ever happened. There are people in this country who want to move past it and pretend like slavery never even existed. Like, we don't have slaves now. Why do we need to talk about this? Slavery doesn't exist. I didn't enslave you. You weren't enslaved by me. This isn't our problem. I think that's problematic that we want to forget that it ever happened. But there is a whole contingent of people who want to forget that the Civil War happened and that we freed the slaves. We killed ourselves over it. Brother fought against brother because there was something more important in this country, that the societal way, the economic way that was imported to our country from all of the rest of the world that participated in some form, if not a worse form than was in the United States, imported to this country. Enslavement happened, the economy boomed, and we still said no. No more. I'm working hard to refrain from the political notes that exist throughout this conversation because it is important to understand that Americans decided no more slavery. That is something to be amplified and celebrated by Republicans, by Democrats, by people who live in New England, that people who live in the Deep South, that we can come together and say, Americans decided no more slavery. Good one. This doesn't happen in the rest of the world the way it happens in the United States. It's very unbelievable to think about those who want to forget what our country was willing to put our own selves through to end the darkest sin that exists upon our country. And I compare that to the people who, if there's a political affiliation to it, I'm kind of unaware of it because I don't think that racism has a party. But the people who want to act like slavery is not a part of our history, you can't acknowledge the righting of a wrong without acknowledging that the wrong existed. And it had consequences. There were consequences in this country due to the fact that we enslaved people, predominantly based on skin color, but not only based on skin color. If you were black, you weren't immediately a slave. And if you were white, you weren't immediately not a slave. Those are the facts of the situation. There was certainly a propensity with one or the other, but your skin color alone did not dictate that you were or were not a slave. We have to rationalize ourselves and pull ourselves away from that constant political pull that is always an investment on some political power, both sides, where there is a contingent that says, this is what I need from them. This is the emotion I need to instill in them and evoke from them because I think that I can play on their emotions more than I can play on their brain cells. Which reminds me, Ryan, you missed the best phone call we've ever taken on the show on Tuesday.
Oh, no, really?
You did.
Yes. It involved biscuits.
Oh, I think I may have heard a little bit about this.
I almost want to play it back for you.
Yeah, because I haven't heard it.
Going back to my point about playing more on people's emotions and not their senses. What was her name? Emily?
Emily, yeah.
She was high on something.
Mm-hmm.
Had to have been. The idea that emotions that if you can tap into somebody's emotions, you can control them easier than if you explain it to them. If I become impassioned, perfect example. Ryan, have you ever done something completely out of consuming emotion as a parent?
Yes.
That you would not have rationally done had you sat down and said, someone fans out the papers in the desk in front of you. Okay, so here's what I would like to have you do. Here's point A, B, C, and D, and E, and F. And this is going to make you, after you've read through these points, go lose your mind on person A.
Yes. Usually it involves the number of things and rituals that the kids need to go through before bedtime.
Oh, you're saying this is directly to your kids?
Yes.
Yeah. Your irrational behavior.
Oh, I see. Okay.
As a parent, generally is out of emotion.
Yes.
Not out of thought, process, analytics, and sensibility.
Yes.
If somebody wants to really get under my skin and cause me to act irrationally, do something to my kids. It's happened before. It is not something I'm particularly proud of, but it's also something that there is a real self-aware sense that should that same situation happen a second time, I'm not so sure I would act differently the second time. My daughter's listening right now, and she knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's the same thing with voting. It's the same thing with voters. If people who can politically persuade you into something can make you feel rage or to make you feel euphoric about Hillary Clinton, of all people, then you can see how people will become impassioned to go on some crusade, whether it's, marching in the street, burning down a building, and people will act irrationally because they are so emotionally over-invested, emotion over sensibility, and, thinking analytically. You can evoke something out of a person with that. The whole slavery question in our country is rarely used to make an analytical, objective point about where we were and where we are, that people don't traditionally have a conversation surrounding the topic of slavery without emotion very quickly taking over strongly. And it makes people feel like they should be on the offensive or on the defensive immediately. This topic comes up, you go to your corners and you sit there and you get ready to fight. which is ironic that we're talking about something that we had to kill each other over to end, because ultimately at the core of our national sensibility, we knew better and we were willing to commit to it to the death. I've read a lot of comments in the last 24 hours on social media commemorating Juneteenth, with people in the comment section saying it's so hard to believe that we're actually not that far removed from a time where our ancestors were enslaved. And that's usually, I think and I'm going to say this too, like there are probably people listening who made those comments and who maybe have been in my feed. Listen, I respect that sentiment. Those sentiments are made out of the best of intentions. When people look to support other people who might have posted something about that, it is in a well-intended nature 90+% of the time. But what I think is missed when the point is made that it's, the idea is, Ryan, it wasn't that long that we did this. And people will say, yeah, it's unbelievable that my grandpa's father, great-grandpa's father, saw this with his own eyes. Shouldn't it also be noted that in that same sentiment, it is important to remember how close we were to a point in time where this happened? Shouldn't it also be jaw-droppingly impressive that it's hard to imagine today that existed? The distance from point A to point B is indicative of how much progress we've actually made. That it is unbelievable and reprehensible to think about what existed in our country in a time where you can retrace the names of the people who in your family saw this as a true existence. I mean, I live in Illinois. I came over to Missouri. That traveling, huge difference in where those states were and what those states meant. Google the Missouri Compromise. Understand where the Mason-Dixon line lies. And know that when you drive from Illinois to Gulf Shores, you're going through a significant amount of history in that distance where your American brothers and sisters, like you get out at a couple gas stations, hugely different existences for the people who lived in those places. And yeah, it was not that long ago. But in the same sense that we want to say, rip ourselves back mentally to that time that was not that far ago when slavery was the function of our society, that it didn't take us that long to go, hell no, and never again. Like, that's where we are right now. And Juneteenth is a reminder that even when we won, when the good guys won, and the Americans decided that we were willing to potentially lose our country over fighting to end slavery, which was one of, if not the greatest asset to an economic boom in this country, we said it's not valuable enough to maintain this form of labor, slave labor in our country. We cannot do this to the humans that coexist with us because of the economic benefit. We can't do it. It has to stop. And we stopped it. And even at that, the moment it stopped, all blacks weren't immediately free. It took, years before it reached June 19th in Texas?
Years.
For them to know that they were free men and women. Free. Finally in America, they were free. That's an emphatic punctuation on the end of a terrible sentence that black Americans lived in this country, and we together fought to end it. That's to be celebrated. And the distance that exists from that time in our American history, which wasn't really that long ago till now, shows how much progress can be made when we commit to doing what is right. And there's a lot of drama that goes along with it. There's a lot of politics that goes along with it. Of course, naturally. But you can choose to look at Juneteenth however you want. You can choose to see Juneteenth and whichever side of the issue you're on. You can choose to say, and I've seen these actual arguments being made in my own timelines, that Juneteenth isn't a holiday to be recognized at all, and it's just a DEI practice that's being forced down our throats. I think that's wrong. I've seen Juneteenth is a joke on the other side because it's the least that the white people think that they can do to make black people stop asking for reparations, and we shouldn't fall for this. I've seen it. I've seen comments about how white people shouldn't be able to take Juneteenth off and only black people should. All of these things are looking to rip us apart from one another, to divide one another, which is the exact opposite of what Juneteenth, a historical day in American history that should be acknowledged, should be understood, and should be celebrated because it was the day we were finally all understood to be equal. That's the message. And you get to choose how you want to look at it. You get to choose if you want to be angry about it, but you don't have to be angry about it. And know if you are being angry about it, you've chosen that way. I would ask yourself why you've chosen to be angry over it. Whether you had the day off or didn't have the day off, whatever, understand the value of the holiday. Understand the value of the historical importance of that day. And understand that we live in a country that against all odds, against all historical appointment, against all economic sense, still said it's not right. It must end. We will die for it. And the good thing won. And it should be celebrated. All right. What's next, Ryan Wiggins, on the Annie Friday? She's going to kill you. Trisha is going to have your neck.
Oh, you interpreted that as Trisha. Oh. No, see, I was just talking about how I was very full. So that's on you.
I was sitting here thinking about teeing something up, and I'm like, oh, Annie, are you okay? I'm not going to screw this up. Because last week, Ryan was emphatically signifying large pregnant lady coming into the studio. And I think that Trisha looks absolutely gorgeous.
See, now you're implying that I don't. That's the problem.
She does.
Yes, agreed.
Clearly. And any woman who is, she's got to be like 36 weeks pregnant.
I have no idea. Don't know how that works.
I will not explain it to you. Storks, blessings from God.
That's as far as I've ever gotten.
She looks beautiful, and I'm going to say this. She didn't ask me to say this, nor would she. But she does have to work with Ryan Wiggins. Come onto the Annie Fry YouTube channel and tell Trisha how beautiful she looks, because every pregnant woman needs to hear that, and she does look beautiful. And Ryan will probably say something off-air offensive here in a minute. Help him out.
Well, that's probably true, yes.
We'll be right back.
Well, Janie got divorced again. Her
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
And Brenda's trading smokes for cake. Still hadn't lost that baby weight. And that baby's about to graduate from college. I just flick an ash into the tray. Tell them both it'll be okay. I'm just blowing smoke.
Air Comfort Service wants you to give them a call. 314, let's see, let me give you the phone number up here. If you need Air Comfort Service to come to your house right now, you definitely want to reach out to them. They have double carrier cool cash rebates. And when you call them and you mention the Annie Fry Show, they're going to get you set up right away. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. The double carrier cool cash rebates, $4,200 up to $4,200 that you can save on a qualifying system. Also, 0% financing for up to 72 months. In addition to that, you could be eligible for utility rebates and tax credits. Air Comfort Service knows that this hot weather is very punitive. Your air conditioner is going to be working really hard. You might have it set at 70 and it's only cooling to 73 because it's just working overtime. If it's not doing the trick, you need to call Air Comfort Service and get to the bottom of what's going on. Maybe you need to have a tune-up. Maybe you need to have it replaced, but make sure that you are taken care of. Also, a reminder, check on your loved ones, the ones that maybe will just sit there when it feels really hot because they think it's hot outside. Maybe their AC needs to be checked on as well. And Air Comfort Service can absolutely be trusted to go to their homes and take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Our lives aren't like they used to be. They're busier. Early morning Zooms, grabbing coffee to make that in-office meeting, getting to your kid's soccer game on time. Life is different, and so is advertising. To reach any audience, you need your message out there in all media, broadcast to streaming, on screens, and right to the ears of your customers. And that's what we do at Odyssey. Let's build a media campaign that targets the customers you know and want to reach more of, right here in our community. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
This is a consumer alert to all U.S. taxpayers who owe the IRS back taxes or have unfiled tax returns. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, you can now take advantage of active programs that provide relief to struggling taxpayers and may reduce or eliminate what you owe if you qualify. Even if you are facing liens, levies, audits, wage garnishment, or already in a payment plan, call the Easy Tax Relief Helpline now to check what savings you may qualify for at 800-505-8196. You may qualify to reduce up to 99% of what you owe or for other special programs. Once qualified and enrolled, you can rest assured that your assets are protected and all collection efforts will be stopped. Billions of dollars in savings are available through these relief programs for struggling taxpayers, but you must call to see if you qualify. To see what savings you qualify for, call 800-505-8196. 800-505-8196. That's 800-505-8196.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Join the free smoothie party at Tropical Smoothie Cafe on June 21st for National Smoothie Day. We're treating our Tropic Rewards members to a free smoothie with bowl or food purchase. Order an app online or pop by the cafe for a little sip and chill. 3 cheers to our Tropic fam. Terms and conditions apply.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. If you're not sure who to call for air conditioning services, contact the team at Air Comfort Service. With 55 years of experience and thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust them with the comfort of your home. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 On Command. Just tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 FM Talk. Or download the Odyssey app and stay on top of everything happening anytime, even when you're not close to a radio.
Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I wish that my lips could build a castle. Some nights I wish they just fall off. But I still wake up, I still see your ghost. Oh Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for. Oh, what do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights I don't know anymore.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us. Thursday today, and we're glad that you are here. The YouTube live chat poll, would you like to see RFK Jr. at the CNN debate? Yes or no? They announced today that he has not made the cut. And your votes here suggest that you're pretty split on it. So I'd love to hear what you think. So make sure you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote. We will star some of those comments as they come in if you so choose and read some of those when we give you the results at the end of the show. All right, Trish is here.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Brian?
You are glowing like Moses came down from the mountain.
Are you saying she's sweaty?
I'm saying that, you know how people were looking for a leader? You're that right now.
A sweaty one?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People, if somebody's been working out a lot, like they glisten.
They
people
look
go,
like me, like I do now.
People go,
they look,
man,
in this form, this shape.
You look like a leader.
Take
B,
it on water.
I look like what?
You look like a leader.
Okay.
B, I call that a Trisha. That's what the popular lexicon would say, is when somebody has been sweating a lot.
Feel free to come to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and rate on a scale of 0 to 10 how well Ryan is doing.
I love coming in here on Thursdays. Now, this has been great these past couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been great for
Last
everybody.
week there were hand motions.
When you come back after maternity leave, you get to spend as many weeks commenting on his appearance.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I'll have some time to prep that.
Yeah,
that segment.
Yeah, when you come in, like, tell her that I'll be in here for the next segment by just going like this.
Big coming.
Ryan's been eating a ton of candy.
It's not news.
But I'm getting older. My metabolism can't handle it anymore. But I'm telling it, I'm in charge, metabolism. You're going to like this airhead.
What most people do right before, I was going to say before they get diabetes, but
that ship has sailed.
This is where Ryan explains that he only kind of has diabetes.
I only kind of have diabetes because my A1C is actually still within the range of non-medicated.
Ish.
Yeah.
You have mid-diabetes.
I have like what would be considered diabetes in America, but some other countries would call it pre-diabetes.
Is that why you went to Japan?
So that's why
I don't think Japan would be the right direction to go.
No, I don't either. But that's why I've been eating bags of those peanut butter candies from Halloween because they're cheap and I can still eat them for another couple years.
All right. Trisha, are you okay?
All right.
Smoking.
Woman stuck waist deep in quicksand.
Uh-oh. Oh, man. Wait, time out. One of the scariest scenes in any movie that I ever grew up with was the what's the swamp called? What's the swamp called?
Oh, the fire swamp.
Fire swamp
Yes.
with the ROUSSs when they're in the quicksand and they go down. Like, that terrified me. And as soon as I hear quicksand, that's what I think of.
I do too. I still have nightmares. That's why I grabbed this story. A woman in Maine had quite the scare when she was pulled waist deep into quicksand while walking on the beach. She'd been collecting trash, so her hands were occupied when she went down.
Drop the trash.
She just like
No, I
sunk.
can't let
Like,
go of
hands,
my
like,
precious
I'm
Put the
saving
trash.
the planet.
Put the trash in the quicksand, and nobody will know.
And then stand on it. Climb up the
Look
trash.
at the good
like
deed
a
that I
ladder.
did, people. I made it disappear.
Thankfully, her husband saw it and pulled her right out. But I was wondering if you were okay with quicksand because of The Princess Bride.
No. No. I had such an irrational expectation of how prevalent quicksand was. Where was this? You said on a beach. Does it say?
Yeah, New England. She's from Maine. It was a new. All
So
that it said
it's
was
an
New
American
England. It's
story.
an American story.
On a beach?
Just whoop,
Those,
right
those
down.
New England beaches.
Man, that's a
They're a
surprise.
beach.
Seems like you would have heard that at some point in your life. Like, you got to watch out for the beach up near Boston.
But apparently, and I don't have all of the details in this report.
Now you
with
are.
me.
That's what's happening. It's happening right now.
Yeah.
But they did issue some warnings to beachgoers after this incident.
They
When
put
I-
up a sign that said,
Yeah,
look
like,
out.
Yeah, don't sink.
Fire swamp.
Quicksand is real.
There's a.
Leave the
I was
trash.
about 7 years old, and I was playing in the creek behind my parents' house. Great opportunity as a kid to play in a creek at my parents' house. Did so regularly, and depending on how high the water in the creek would be, and I mean, sometimes big storms come in, gully washer. Other times it was a steady flow of water, but if you walked through it in most places, maybe up to your ankles. Playing down in it, I stepped out of the water. Maybe I jumped over the water onto the mud that was on the other side, went down mid-shin, and I was stuck down there, and I had to throw my whole body up onto the bank and like army crawl out of it. Vroom, vroom. They're my shoes. Stayed in the mud. They're still down there probably, unless I guess maybe over the course of time they could have washed out. But I was so scared to come up and talk to my parents about it because I'd lost my shoes. I was covered in this like clay-like mud.
Ugh.
And they laughed at me, which was bittersweet.
Somewhere in southern Illinois at a creek bed, there's a pair of 1991 Keds.
Yeah.
If anybody wants them.
That's probably exactly what they were.
The archaeologists would be thrilled to find those one day.
Woman unexpectedly gives birth at a Golden Corral. An
Ooh.
Arkansas woman.
Hey, when it's time, it's time.
This woman didn't know she was pregnant.
That was not time.
An Arkansas woman who was enjoying a meal with her family began to feel strange. The unexpected
At
stomach
Gold
pains.
Corral. All I'm thinking now is Spaceballs. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Princess Bride and Spaceballs, people. These are good recommendations.
Also, Atreyu lost his horse in quicksand. I
That
just want
was
to point that
a
out.
very
Artax.
tragic movie.
Artax,
I need to
yes.
go back and watch it and see if it was. Why was it all scary to me?
The whole movie is
Because
just
it's
weird.
traumatic.
It's just a weird, scary movie, but it is good.
I'm not even sure I know what the plotline is. Anyway,
Is that Never-Ending Story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never-ending
I blocked it out. I watched it one time when I was a kid, and it was traumatic, and I can't. I
Yeah.
won't.
What was
Gotta
traumatic?
write it down. This is a great one to watch with my kids.
What was traumatic for me is at the end, I was like, "This is a lie. The title of the movie is a lie."
It ended.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were like, "Oh, this is such a traumatic movie," and I'm like, "One for the children."
We tried watching it with my kids not too long ago.
It's such a slow and boring.
When that wolf comes out, and my son was like, "I'm done. I'm out.
Okay.
I'm done."
I'll traumatize my kids and report back.
So this lady in Arkansas had a baby at a Golden Corral. She didn't know she was pregnant. She gave birth at the Golden Corral to a healthy 6-pound baby boy. Good for her. To pay tribute to the restaurant, she named the baby Tamar Corral
Buffet.
Woodfork.
Chocolate
Wait,
fountain.
She put
Tamar Golden Corral?
Kaylin, sorry.
Okay.
Corral. Yeah, colon's worse. Corral Woodfork.
I thought you put a colon in the kid's name. That's what I was like, really?
She did not.
Okay.
Annie, are you okay with buffets?
No. This is a hard no.
I am.
pass.
I'm fine with them.
I know.
I believe that.
Yeah. And I've been to a Golden Corral within the last 4 months, I think.
This is what you need to do. You need to sit down and watch a buffet for 45 minutes before you eat at it.
Oh, no. I go to buffets
See what comes out
blindfolded.
fresh.
Yeah, no.
See who
It's
sticks
more
their
about
hands
like
in it.
the patrons.
Nope. Look, she's pointing at me. If you go into a Golden Corral, you're going to see me.
That's because you're just face deep in the chocolate fountain.
Yes. And pregnant.
Unknowingly.
Unknowingly.
Don't you know
Giving
men can get
birth.
pregnant now?
I do know that.
It's a
Birthing people.
pandemic. Wear a mask.
If I go into Golden Corral wearing a mask and they ask me why,
I'm like,
that's what I'm going to tell them.
They said use protection.
Yeah.
You think the mask is the condom for buffets.
Sir, you're not going to get pregnant while you're here. I know.
Just make sure. I can't even say that out loud.
And I pull a little coupon out from behind my mask. There you go. $13.99 today.
U.S. Department of Energy says you should set your thermostat to 78 degrees all
Of
summer.
course they would. Vote Trump.
They say this is the ideal temperature for summertime,
The ideal temperature for whom?
as every degree above 72 could save up to 3% on the cost of cooling your home.
How about you
Also a
stop
problem they cause.
crashing everything that has to do with American energy, and then I will newsflash. I will cool my house to whatever I want to cool my house to.
They also suggest raising the temperature by as much as 10 degrees when you leave. So they think you should jack it up to 88 degrees.
I think if you ask the
when you
people
leave.
who run HVAC companies, like maybe Corey Malone at Air Comfort Service, they will explain to you how the dramatic ups and downs that you put your HVAC system through are actually hard on your HVAC system, and it makes it work double time in order to get the house cooled again once it's all heated up. I'd have to ask him. I can put words in his mouth, but we've had that conversation before.
So are you okay with setting your thermostat to 78 degrees?
73 always, maybe 75 if we're going to be gone during the day, but 73 and then 67 when we sleep.
67 when you sleep?
yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Dang, good for you.
I like it.
Oh, I want it cold. That's
Cool babies sleep better.
happy babies.
And sleeping babies, happy mommies.
Love it. Love it. I want it cold.
I've been sleeping in her basement for a couple months and she didn't even know.
Video of moviegoers resting bare feet on seats in front of them divides the internet. A video posted to Twitter earlier this week shows a few people in a movie theater resting their bare feet on the empty seats in front of them. The person who posted the video had some choice words in the caption for how grossed out they were. However, some people noted that the seats were empty and that the feet resters weren't bothering anybody. Annie, feet on empty movie seats, yay or nay?
Just no bare feet in public.
Mm-hmm.
You could be outside
What
and
if
running
the
around.
feet- what if the feet weren't bare and there's nobody sitting in front of you?
Like you're wearing shoes?
Shoes, and you've got your feet up on the seat in front of you at a movie.
No, still inappropriate. It's furniture that people sit in, and your feet are walking on the ground, and you're moving dirt and stuff up to where people are going to sit their head or rest their head or hair if you've got long hair. Put your feet on the freaking ground.
I'm going to agree with
Ryan?
Annie here.
Oh.
I'm trying to find a way to not, but I can't come up with one. Don't put your feet where other people's head and clothes are, because you're just going to get all nasty, whether it be the fungus from your bare feet or it be the dirt from your
Shoes.
non-bare feet. Yeah.
Maybe you need to take care of the fungus in your feet, Ryan.
Maybe people do. That's kind of what I'm agreeing with you about.
People.
Mm-hmm. Maybe people need to use more of that tough actin tenactin.
They're not going to pay you for that.
But, Brad, you could go ahead and clip it and send it anyway if you wanted to.
It's not my job.
Trisha, maybe you could.
You want one more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you not know how to edit audio?
Nope.
That explains it.
Idaho man breaks his own fist bumping record. Guy named David Rush broke his own fist bumping record again by fist bumping a fellow YouTuber 397 times in 30 seconds.
We're screwed.
This must be his thing. He's broken
How
his
many?
own record multiple times. 177 concurrent held Guinness World Records for this. So he's just fist bumping the heck out of everybody.
Is this a euphemism?
Nope.
So
You sure?
Yep.
it's in a certain amount of time?
30 seconds.
This was on his
397
OnlyFans page?
times YouTube.
Okay.
In 30 seconds?
No, but did you see George Santos has an OnlyFans?
I
That's a
did
whole-
see that.
I'm glad you guys all learned that here on this show.
How do you do that? See,
Fun
when
fact.
you said
OnlyFans,
397
we're not
times,
going to tell you.
whatever it was.
www.
I was like, well, that's not that many, but you said in 30 seconds.
30 seconds, 397 times.
It's just like a speed bag.
Yeah. Are you okay with fist bumping?
Yeah, I'm a fan of that.
You're a fan of fist bumping?
Yeah.
A guy like this makes me not want to fist bump ever again.
Maybe. A fist bump athletically is kind of
Kind of cool.
I'm not really concerned about that. It's more just a appropriate, easy acknowledgement.
What happens when you go for the fist bump and somebody else goes for the 5? Because that's what I get caught up in, and it's super awkward.
It's just like the question
Somebody's
about
just, like,
when you go to
holding.
hug someone and you both go to the right.
Yeah.
Because if you both go to your right,
Yeah, then you're about to kiss.
then you Chris Christie Scaramucci.
Mhm.
Scare smoochie.
Or you're at a softball game with the
Awkward.
guys. You go to high five, and accidentally you just slap somebody on the rear end, like over and over. That
The 397 times in 30
yeah.
seconds.
And if nobody videoed it, you're like, why did I even do this?
Yeah.
You're really into that OnlyFans thing?
No. I've never been to the website. I've just heard that it exists because of George Santos. That was the first time I'd ever heard of it.
I know
today.
you subscribe.
I don't even know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a
That's
fan.
exactly
of
what I would
OnlyFans.
expect you to say.
Are there things
know
on there
nothing.
that have nothing to do with negative, gross things? Because if there are, I don't know about it. What is George Santos going to do on OnlyFans?
I don't know. Could be on the up and up.
I hope so. He's doing cameos. Kind of like that website. I know about that one.
How long will you keep talking?
Music pushing me, so I can probably stop.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Trisha.
Thank you.
You look beautiful.
Thank you, Annie.
Ryan?
You look beautiful, too. I mean, you already were.
You're talking to Trisha. For
Yeah.
the record.
Yes.
Not me.
No.
Absolutely
For
not.
himself, you look beautiful, too.
We'll be right back.
I found a martyr in my bed tonight. Stops my bones from wandering why.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Well, some nights I wish that this all would end. 'Cause I could use some friends for us.
Hey, I want to talk to you about hydrating your heroes. This is a great thing that you can participate in with Ruler Foods. I love that they acknowledge those people in our communities that are serving us, law enforcement, so on and so forth, EMTs as well. If you want to participate in the Hydrate Your Heroes event going on now through June 29th, you can save on hydration at Ruler Foods. Prime Hydration, $1.88, 28-ounce Powerade or 16.9-ounce Bubbly Burst, 10 for $10. And Kroger Purified Drinking Water, a 24-pack, 2 for $5. This is a great way to save on hydration for yourself and also to make a donation to those heroes in your neighborhood that will benefit from you making that quick donation. It's really easy to do, and you can save while you're doing it as well. A reminder that Ruler Foods now has delivery. So if you go online and you're trying to find the Ruler Foods that's closest to you, you just go to rulerfoods.com, put in your zip code. You're going to see all the current sales that are in the ad that are shown there on the website. But you can also schedule those savings to be delivered directly to your door by visiting them online. Go to rulerfoods.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
There she goes again. It might be out of here. 4 in a row for Musial.
The Cardinals host the Giants Saturday, June 22nd, and that day, 25,000 fans, 16 and up, will take home a popular 30-ounce Stanley Musial tumbler. This exclusive Cardinals beverage holder is stainless steel and comes complete with a handle, lid, and straw, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. Quench your thirst in style at Busch Stadium Saturday, June 22nd. For tickets and more details, go to cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Ozzie Smith, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
TGI Summer, calling all teachers. Teachers Night presented by Millipore Sigma returns to the ballpark on Monday, June 24th and Tuesday, June 25th. With the purchase of a special theme ticket, you will take home an exclusive Cardinals quarter zip pullover featuring the birds on a pencil. And as a special treat, you will receive a drink coupon for a drink on us. For more information or to purchase, visit cardinals.com/theme.
This is Nolan Arenado, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com.
If you need someone you can trust for your eye care, go see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Kim St. Ange here. Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry are experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
Would you like to see RFK Jr. at the CNN debate? Let us know. Yes or no are your options, and then let us know why in the YouTube live chat poll of the day. Would you like to see RFK Jr. at the CNN debate a week from today? 250 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
News that's on time.
On your time.
Download the Odyssey app and dip in whenever you want. And stay on top of what's happening. 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app.
Cowboy. Cowboy.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
So, as the mom of 2 teens, as the product of public school myself, I'm more about the solutions to the problems. And I think it's great that private donors care so much about children in Louisiana. But if they did, Louisiana is 49th in education. We have 50 states. They are 1 from being the bottom in education. 1. 2, one of the highest teen pregnancy rates. 3, school lunch programs. Are we feeding the children? So as a former Christian, one of the things that I would like to see, the Jesus that I know in the Bible, and I'm not a spokesperson, but I think he would care more if we really cared about the children. And I looked at the 10 Commandments again this morning, And I have already violated one of them coveting these ladies' shoes. So,
Not exactly the same covet, but I appreciate
Well, you don't have a wife.
Can I just make one 10-second point?
So that's my problem with it as a parent is I would like to see them focus more on the children.
So there's Leslie Marshall. She's on Outnumbered today. And the news is out of Louisiana. Fox News reports Louisiana is the first state to require the display of the Ten Commandments in every public school classroom after Republican Governor Jeff Landry signed a bill into law Wednesday. Under the legislation, HB 71, a poster-sized display of the Ten Commandments in large, easily readable font is required in all public classrooms from kindergartens to state-funded universities. Over the weekend, Landry touted the bill at a fundraiser in Tennessee. I'm going to sign a bill that places the Ten Commandments in public classrooms, and I can't wait to be sued. Now, the the angle they're taking is that this is a historical text that, it's displayed at the Supreme Court. Our secular legal system is formed with the understanding that the Ten Commandments exist in and of itself. So it definitely has a historical placement. First and foremost, and I think we're going to have a longer conversation about this tomorrow. It is shocking to me the arguments that are being made against the Ten Commandments being displayed in classrooms because of the indoctrination that will take place should the Ten Commandments be visible in a classroom, and the other baloney sausage that these teachers are displaying in their classroom while saying they are not indoctrinating students on anything.
I love it. I absolutely love this case for that very reason. When we're at cultural loggerheads like we are right now, these things do have to happen because you have to decide which way you're going to go. Now, my hope is that if this is destined for the Supreme Court, which it just seems like it is, I don't know if it will be, that this would be a case where you get a little bit more definition on the separation between church and state, because that's what the lawsuits are going to be about. And I would love to see where this goes, especially with the historical angle that Louisiana's taking here.
It says Fox News says the groups said the new law will send a, quote, chilling message to students and families who don't follow the state's preferred version of the Ten Commandments. Also, can I add, she's talking about feeding the hungry, unwed pregnancies or young pregnancies. Like, the list of things that she talks about at the beginning of this are addressed in the Ten Commandments.
Yeah.
It's one possibility of solutions. Here's a list. And then you can have your other free love stuff literally hanging next to it in a classroom. And I'm certain that if it's required, that it will be. I don't know I know that Florida has put in a lot of laws that say you're not going to push some stuff in a Florida classroom, but there's a lot of holes in the argument.
And with the clip, too, of her speaking, too, when she says Louisiana is 49th in education. Well, what is your argument then? Leave it alone?
Are you going to ban the Ten Commandments? It's all about having them. Children should be exposed to whatever they want to read. They should have more information, not less. Are you going to ban that from the classroom? What if they want to read it? What if they want to be able to expose themselves to something that is new? I mean, these are their arguments. They're not mine.
Yeah, and it's funny because we can probably look through our clip folder of the last 4 or 5 years and find clips that if you didn't know they were applying to pride flags or whatever, and you applied them to this, those same people would probably completely reverse those arguments.
Yeah, they're the same arguments. And I also just think that when it comes to the separation in church and state, the left gets off the hook because they worship government. That's their religion, and they shove it down our kids' throats all the time, and they get away with it. So put those Ten Commandments up in the classroom. It's an option. You're not like making them sign a contract. But what if they saw "Don't steal"? Would that be the worst thing ever? What if they add like more than $950?
Only if it goes to California.
Yeah, there's going to be a California version. A few modifications that they have made on the Ten Commandments. These 10 commandments. Oh my gosh, the poll. I forgot about it. The poll with almost 200 votes, 52% wish that RFK Jr. was
close
at the debates.
poll.
It's very close.
Wow.
It was close the whole time. Thanks for voting. Stick around. Mark Reardon's next. Jamie Lissow in studio tomorrow.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Triton Exteriors, specifically my friend Tim Nesbitt, who is the owner. He is from the customer service business, 20 years in the restaurant business. So the answer is yes. What's the question? Anything you need. Hospitality, personal service. We're upscale. We're a James Hardy company. Roofing and siding and gutters and great value. Tim just texted me and he beat the next closest bid by $15,000 just this week. You can call 314-717-1159 or Triton-S